Ford Video Guy Studio in Salina, Kansas, it's McArthur Live with Tim Bartz and Sarah Davis. For all the information on ordering and production, Ford news, recalls, debunking all the fake news on social media, and whatever's on their mind, here's your hosts, Tim and Sarah. Welcome in. This is episode 199.
Yes.
Forgot to put my hat on. I put a hat on. Anyway, hopefully everybody's having a great week this week, and it's been a busy week. It looks like the factories finally opened up the floodgates and started transporting cars. So we're getting really flooded with vehicles and inventory right now. We went from we added 30 vehicles just today. 30 vehicles got on our website today, which is crazy. But so that's pretty awesome. Starting to get some inventory and everything. And we'll talk about that and everything today. And we'll talk about some other fun stuff. So today's episode, it's labeled there, is going to be talking about the 26 Explorer. And, we just started looking a little more in depth into the order guide and everything. And I really I thought, you know what? I think we really need to talk about how this Explorer, so a couple different things that I think they did to the 26 model year that other models could learn from. And also just a great way, I think, that'll help them sell more of the Explorers in the market in this segment. And I think it might be a really good, Explorer is one of the top selling, I don't know, maybe it is the top selling in the mid-size SUV segment, but I think it could be an important vehicle for us to talk about. So we'll talk about the Tremor and the two different levels they went with the Tremor that they should have done that, in my opinion, on Expedition. And then we'll talk about how they got a under $40,000 MSRP Explorer there when they didn't have one last year. So we'll chat about that and talk about that when we get to the On My Mind section. So if you're watching this and you're watching the recording, we do have timestamps, so you can then click on that On My Mind and be able to see that. Can't do that right now because we're live. But if you do watch this recorded, you'll be able to just click over to that. That's usually where that segment's at. Let's see what else is going on. A lot of other things going on. Don't forget, we are recording this as a podcast too, so you can view it on your favorite streaming platforms. And you can find that out there wherever you might find all your favorite podcasts, including Sarah's podcast, All Women Driven.
Yes.
You got a new episode this Thursday?
I do.
All right. Got a new episode this Thursday. Been looking for that. Link to that is in the description of this video, along with the other channels that we like to watch. And we've been on a couple of them. So we do have All Terrain Nation. We have theirs out there, one of them that we like, as well as Johnny's Car Care and Reviews. We also like, of course, Turn Down for Watt, as well as his personal channel. It's on there as well. So Bow Family EV, I believe it's called. Plus there's some others there. Bird Dog Overland we like, and some other, of course, Bronco related ones. RagnarCon, one of our members, has a channel as well. So some fun stuff there. So check that out. And I've been actually watching a couple of his reels. He just had to repair I think it's his Focus, and replace the window. Anyway, I wouldn't have done it. So power to him, but he did. Anyway, so good stuff. So don't forget, also, we could do this here. See if I get the slide right here. So don't forget that if you are new to the channel, see if I get the right one. Which one's the one I want? You can just hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to hit that notification bell so you get notified of all of our videos off of our main channel. Also, if you want to join, we do have membership available. 2 different tiers there. You can learn about those by clicking on each of the left over there. Hit the coffee time. It's a new tier that we have that just started. It's a little more than the others. You can join just by clicking that join button. Now, if you're see all the membership content there, but if you want to upgrade, if you're a Long McArthur crew one, you can upgrade by clicking on the upgrade there, change your level, and that changes it. And then, of course, all of our content is going to be under the membership tab there. And, of course, if you have your notifications set up, you'll get notified when those go live as well. So there you go. Hey, I did it all in time right there. I need to remove this one, so I make sure I don't do it in the future. But there we go. And then, of course, if you are on iOS, you might have to get to the subscribe a little differently. You may have to actually click over to the big A and little a and go into the desktop website to be able to view that join button there. So little something you have to do there for those users over there. So anyway, so there you go. All right. And by the way, I don't have anything in my cup. I don't have a cup right now. So we can't do what's in Tim's cup because Tim forgot to get a beverage. So maybe we should put up for a poll.
What should Tim get?
Yeah.
Or what is Tim going to get?
What should Tim get? I don't have a poll here. So our options over here in the vending machine are a Monster. I usually go for that blue Hawaiian, but I already had one of those today. There's the C4. There's a couple different flavors. There's like a strawberry or the apple, which I don't know about that one. And then there's Code Red. There's the red Mountain Dew over there, right?
Yes.
Or a regular Mountain Dew. So maybe you guys need to vote. Anyway, because I need to go get a drink. So I was like, oh, I don't have time. I barely had time to go to the bathroom, which is why you saw the blue screen. Because I was just getting back. I'm like, oh, I got a minute and a half. Anyway, all right. Well, you guys are deciding what Tim should be drinking, right? What's in Tim's cup? What needs to be in Tim's cup? There you go. And
that picture's from the pop swap last year.
It is, which kind of brings me up to another thing we need to talk about, and that is our event that's coming up July 25th, 26th. It'll be a fun event. So it's on our website now. You can go to that event tab and go to the Maverick Meetup, and it's our 4th anniversary for this. And we've gotten, I feel like, better and better each year. And we have some stuff going on Friday and some stuff going on Saturday. Plus, in town is Let's Led. So there's a lot of fun stuff coming in town. And I'm really thinking more and more about going up there and drag race at the mach-e rally. That could be kind of fun. We'll take a group up there. Anyway.
I was going to say, especially if you take a group up there with you, you're all going to be like, Tim.
But anyway, so there's a lot of other stuff going on. You'll see a lot of these, some cars driving around, and pretty cool. Custom Kemps of America.
Right. It's Custom Kemps of America.
What are Custom Kemps? Are they just like modified vehicles?
So Custom Kemps is a group, and it's a modified older vehicle group. I mean, they think they generalize all modified vehicles are welcome. But generally it's for the older vehicles, more heritage or more vintage vehicles, and they are modified. But it's a group. It's a American-wide group, and so they have chapters all over the U.S. And then the Lead Sled Spectacular is what happens in Salina. And it used to jump around towns, and then eventually it found its home here in Salina because it's a central location in the United States, and so a lot more people can make it when they make it centralized.
They'll have a parade one night, Thursday night, I think, is the parade. Down on Santa Fe, and then
last year we went over 3,000 participants that registered vehicles.
Yeah, it's a pretty big event, and you'll see just driving around town, you'll just see them all over. So, so in there you can see for those that are coming in for the drive on Friday, the hotel is the Courtyard by Marriott, which is not too far from the dealership. They have a nice big parking lot, especially on the south side of their property. There's always a big open parking lot. So a lot of just park your Mavericks over there and everything. But we're thinking people that are coming in Thursday night, staying at that hotel, or even if you're not staying at the hotel, come out, join us in the lobby, just to kind of a hangout time for people that are coming in and getting their rooms and all that, and have been driving or something throughout the day, to just kind of, stand up if they need to or whatever, get a drink. There's a restaurant there. So anybody wants to need something to eat, there's also a Wendy's across the street. There's also a Mexican place, Ponchos, across the street as well. There's a Pizza Hut not too far. People want to get pizza, they probably can have it delivered over or just go get it. I mean, there's a lot of different places.
You just can't take the food into the bistro area.
Yeah, you just can't take it into their restaurant out of respect for them. But we'll do that Thursday night, and then Friday we'll do a drive. We're actually gonna meet in that parking lot there. So we'll do that. We'll meet there 9 a.m. or so. We'll start rolling. Probably meet 9 a.m. and roll out about 9:15, 9:30 from there. And that way we can stay together, which that street's real easy for everybody to be able to keep together. And then if we turn right and notice there's somebody that's not together, then we'll pull in. We got this drive that's just down the street from us that we can pull and get everybody together, and then we'll take a route that is very less traveled, and then we'll go by and see Mushroom Rock Park. It's just kind of a nice drive in the old Kansas scenery here, and then we'll go check it out, and then go over the Kannapolis Dam like we did last year, and then on over to Coronado Heights, which is a castle.
Yeah.
And then it's near Lindsborg, Kansas, which is, we call it Little Sweden. And they have a lot of cool little shops in this little small town, some restaurants you can eat at, and everything for lunch. So we'll do that. We'll end up Coronado Heights, and then people can go where they want to. If they want to go into Salina to eat, they can, or they want to go into Lindsborg. A lot of people that went into Lindsborg had a lot of fun.
Probably what I'll do is you'll lead the group into Salina, and I can lead a group into Lindsborg. So that way you guys can follow someone. We'll
see. It's real easy actually to get back to the highway. Pretty easy to get back from there with the GPS. And then Saturday morning we'll be here at the dealership on the lot. Bring your Mavericks. We're going to put that out for people locally as well. We'll send an email to all the customers that have bought Mavericks from us. So if you bought a Maverick from us, you'll probably get an email from us as well about just Saturday's event. And then also there's a group in Kansas City. We'll probably let them know about it too, and see how many was coming. But we think there's more than we thought, because originally, if you are going to come, sign up. The link is in there. It says, it's kind of at the bottom. I might actually put a couple spaces under there so you can see it real big. But register for the event. That gives us an idea of numbers and everything, so we can make sure that if we don't have a big enough area and parking over there or here, then we need to, especially since we're going to have to move some cars around on our lot, we kind of need to know how many rows we need to open up for that, right?
Or how many people plan to come for the drive Friday morning, so that way we aren't leaving anyone behind.
Yes, that too. So we definitely want you to register. We know some people on Maverick Truck Club, not everybody had said that they're coming registered. So some of them say they're coming and then they don't end up making it, or plans change, and that's fine. But we want to make sure they register. So Sarah put that out to remind them to register. So we might have a bigger number than we thought. So because there are a bunch of people that are on that group that didn't. So anyway, so there you go. There's that information on that. And if you want any of the shirts, so instead of doing shirts at the event or anything like that, you can get those shirts on our merch site. And I know even your mom got on there. She said, I had a hard time finding them. So all the stuff that just got posted on there should say new on it. Just go to men, women, or whatever for the clothes. There's t-shirts, there's hats, there's coffee mugs, tumblers, stickers as well in there. So go to all that section. You can find it. They're all labeled 2025 Maverick Meetup as the name of the clothing, the article, whatever, it'll be named. And if some of them look like it has a Ford Video Guy on the front, that's because it's got the Ford Video Guy on the front left, but on the back is where the logo is. So it's not just this type of shirt. So you might be thinking that that's not one of them, but we're not able to actually, pick which way we want it to show up. So check that out. And to help you out and get you the best deal that I can, the deal did run out. In fact, I forgot to order mine Monday, but starts back up tomorrow. So tomorrow and the 3rd, it's 20% off everything. Or wait till July 4th, it's 25% off everything on July 4th. And then goes back on the 5th and 6th to 20% off. So either of those days, you're saving a lot of money that way if you want to get
I need you to message me on the 4th.
Yeah, right. Anyway, so and then to get that, at the top, you'll see a little button that says redeem. Click on it, and then it's opened up for that session. So if let's say you look through it, but you don't have time, you want to come back, then the next time you come back, make sure you hit that redeem at the top to redeem your percent off, and make sure when you go before you check out that discount is shown in there. So anyway, there you go. See what else. Videos this week. We did a Built Wild Wednesday last Wednesday on the base squatch. Was that this last week? Man, it seems like longer than that, but maybe so. We also did a video on our Mustang Dark Horse edition we did that might need to get changed.
Oh,
we might have gotten in a little bit of trouble with Ford. So stay tuned for that. So that video might be coming down, and we might have to do some things to the Mustang. We'll see. Yeah.
I haven't heard. So.
It just happened. I just found out about it. Anyway, and then we did also finish out our 26 model year Escape build and price videos this weekend. And yesterday, Maverick Monday. Breaking news. If we found out about it yesterday at 3:00, brand manager reached out and said, hey, you might want to do a video on this to clarify so people understand how this works. And actually, so I did the video and somebody posted on Maverick Truck Club. So I do appreciate when you guys do that, because sometimes I forget about that. But they posted it out there and let people know this was new information and everything. And some people were like saying in there, like, well, I just don't think it was ever an option for those non-carb states. I'm like, no, it was an option. That's why the video is important, is because it's changing. We'll talk about that news in just a little bit under the dealer news. But anyway, that video went live yesterday. And so we might get some questions on that. And then this week, we're going to focus in on 26 Explorer, which we're going to talk about tonight. But the videos, the build and price videos on each of the trim levels, are 6 of them. We'll get those live. I'm trying to do 2 a day tomorrow. So there will not be a Built Wild Wednesday video this week. And there won't be a Super Duty Saturday video on Saturday. Wednesday, hopefully get 2 of the Explorer videos done, the other 2 on Thursday, and the last 2 on Friday. So that's my goal, is to get them done. And next week, focus in on Mustang. So we might even have next week's episode on talk about the Mustang. We'll see. Anyway, that's that. All right. Got any votes for my pop? Because I'm getting thirsty.
Yes. I have 22 starred comments here, but some of them are for you. So let's see. Code Red.
Okay.
There's 2 for Code Red, 1 for C Ford, and a margarita.
Margarita. Don't have margarita here.
No.
All right. Well,
so it sounds like Code Red.
Okay. So what I want to do is I'm going to get a drink, and we need to do member shout outs. So part of the membership is we do some videos. We do a lot walk on Thursdays, which we'll be able to do. We are going to be closed July 4th, but be back open Saturday. We also usually do a member live on Fridays. We will not do that this week. Still do a lot walk. And if you're on the coffee time tier, you also get a daily video that I do in the morning. Some of them a little later than others, because sometimes I get busy and I forget. But you get a video usually every day on the coffee time tier as well, kind of talking about different things. So, but yeah, a couple different things we do there, and then different events. And yeah. So anyway, so my thought was in shout outs.
Oh, and we've usually done a 4th of July video where we share videos of my kids doing fireworks and whatnot. We won't be joining you this year, so
yeah. I know you're going with Lebo's family, which is important. And we actually might be, I just found this out tonight, we might be going to Junction, because Fort Riley and Junction City Fort Riley being right in Junction City, I guess they do a lot of big stuff for 4th of July.
Yeah.
So we thought about going there. Since it's just your mom and I, we can drive back late and it's not a big deal, instead of them having to tote kids and getting them across. So we might do fireworks
have to join that
in
next
Junction.
year.
So see, anyway, we might be doing that. So we'll see. But otherwise, during the day, we might be, who knows? We might need to be here doing a few things. Won't talk about that yet. But anyway, all right. Okay.
All righty. You want me to do member shout outs?
Yeah, you do member shout outs while I go get a drink.
Okay. All right. We have Ridgeview is our moderator. He greets everyone as they come into our chat. So he says, hey, folks, see you all soon. We have Ford Enthusiast, evening all. My computer died, so I'm working off of this. We have Ronald Smith. Good evening to everyone on the live chat tonight. We have Bucky, howdy, Law McArthur, and all. There we go. We have Alan, evening all from Oregon at 90 right now. We've been having nightly swim sessions. We put up a pool, and my boys have been swimming every single night. We have Douglas Blair, episode 199, Amazing Howdy from West Virginia. We have Rob Hallmark, howdy all. We have Ghost Stang, good evening, everyone. Brian, hello, Ridgeview, Law McArthur, and all. It's another gorgeous day in Orange County, California. I hope everyone is doing well and almost ready for the 4th of July weekend. We have Mike M. Hello, all. Hope summer is going well for everyone. Jack Evans, hello all. Midcoast Maine is here with us. We have Mabson said, Ford is mad you made a better GTD.
Probably shouldn't say anything. But.
All right, we have Alan says, Code Red is what's in Tim's cup.
Can't see it.
We have Mike M. Happy Independence Day. Member for 43 months. Still can't believe it sometimes. We have people that have been members that long.
199 episodes. This is it for 100s.
Yeah. All right. That's who I had start. Are we talking about the other thing going on?
Yeah. Well, I guess that's. Oh, you're talking. So, okay. I hope it works out, but this could be our last episode in this office. So,
yep,
we got a new studio and office that we should hopefully episode 200 will be in that new office. We think.
Yep.
So, should be. They're working on it now.
If not, it's good to start with 001.
Yeah. So I think that it'll work out because they just really all that's left is to paint it. But there's only 2 more days in the week because of the 4th of July. So, and then I guess Monday. So we'll see. We should be in the new one. So
yes,
by next week, I would think. So surely they'll have it painted by then. We'll see. Anyway, so 200 should be the last one. But should have. I mean, the thing of it is yeah.
That's what we're hoping we're doing over the weekend.
Yeah, we're hoping that Sunday or Friday we can, if we're not busy Friday, that we can come over and
oh no,
and put some dust together.
Lebo and I are cooking ribs for the entire family on Friday.
Well, then Sunday may be the day we come over. And of course, I work Saturday, so Saturday afternoon I might be able to put some. Got to put new desks together, new chairs. So Sarah and Jeff are getting chairs like mine. So we'll have new chairs for them, new desk to use. We'll have a new podcast desk. It won't be this platform where we're across from each other, but more beside each other again.
Going back to the old ways.
Kind of curved. And then our mics will be more positioned.
Do we need to sit on the same side?
We'll have a dedicated spot for all videos and podcasts in one spot.
Yeah.
So with a nice background, it won't be so busy like this is right here. Yeah. This will get put on our wall.
So, if we sit right now, we're kind of sitting beside each other, even though we're across from each other. But do we sit like this or do we switch sides and go back to the old way?
I don't know.
We'll have to figure it out.
Yep. So probably need to stay this way so that I can control the mouse. Mm-hmm. Anyway, all right. So I do have a sticker swap here, or patch swap is what it looks like, from Jill.
Yes.
From Racine, Wisconsin. I've been in Racine, Wisconsin before.
Really?
Yep. When I was in college, I ran cross country, and they had the national cross country championship in Racine, Wisconsin. All right. Ember the Bronco 2024. So there you go. Got a Wisconsin one. So I don't know if I had a Wisconsin one before now.
Yeah. All right. Wisconsin one? I believe you do.
Well, I do now.
So
there you go.
Ford Enthusiast asked, is Bridgeview all signed up for the new intro?
We may be having a little bit of fun that weekend.
Yeah.
Because we'll have to look at his schedule. But yeah. Yep. Niles is already getting prepared for. We've already been talking about it. So yeah, we'll probably get a new intro. And everything.
It works out that it's happening right before Maverick meetup. So we can have our moderator here.
First couple of weeks we'll have the old intro still, but yeah. So in the next one I think we'll do something different because on the current intro we have, it comes in and we're sitting there. So the next one we won't be. So that way we don't have to worry about, hey, wait a minute, you're in different clothes now. All right.
Yeah.
So can't do that intro every week.
Ragnarcon says, if this new studio ends up being on the turntable, I'm going to giggle. It would be funny to record, like grab the desk that's in there, put it on the turntable, be like, okay, record a clip. Okay, we're in our new studio.
Not doing it.
Just joking.
All right. Did we do all the shout outs?
Yeah, that's an April Fool's joke.
Yeah.
All right. We're done with shout outs.
All right.
Oh, David D, you picked up your Maverick from us? Why didn't you come say hi?
Huh.
We love to say hi to our Maverick customers.
Sometimes I'll see people in the showroom. They'll look over at me and I'm like, okay, do they know me? Do they watch my videos? Because sometimes the way they look
Sometimes it's kind of like being a fishbowl. You're like, why is he in there?
Yeah.
Feel free to come over.
So now,
and say
if
hi.
You come over, we won't just be hanging out in the showroom. We'll be hopefully upstairs by next week.
But feel free to ask for us. And, we want to meet you. We definitely do. So feel free to come over.
Yep.
Ask your salesman for us. They'll come and get us.
Yes, that's true. All right. Very rarely get to wear my green watch. I love this. This is the Volstock Europe one, and I like it.
Are you gonna have a lineup of your favorite watches?
It's got a green band, and I very rarely wear a green shirt, but it worked out today. So Jaden stayed over last night. So this morning he's like, "Are you gonna wear green pants too?" I'm like, "No, that's just too much."
Oh, I love their thinking. I love kids. Yeah, you know what my boys are doing tonight?
No.
Swimming again. Sunday, they swam for 5 hours. They played for 2 hours before that outside. So they played outside. No, they played for 3 hours before that. So they were outside for like a total of 8 hours on Sunday.
So we got
swam last night, and then they're swimming tonight. I can't keep them out of our pool.
That's good. Wears them out too. So we got Jane didn't earn something. I don't know. We're supposed to go to the Dollar Tree for something. So we went to Dollar Tree after church and after lunch. And so he got to pick something out from over there. And I said, well, this is cool. And I grabbed it. And it was like one of those, it's like Hot Wheel track. Yeah. It's two of them. It starts up here and it goes down. So you have a little thing that starts them so they can race. And then even at the end, it has it to where it tells you which one won. So we got that. And that's all he's been doing. So it's like, even this morning when I was like trying to come to work, he says, let's race. Let's race. So we have a lot of Hot Wheels at the house. And I'll tell you what, I got a little Bronco at the Bronco Supercell in Tennessee a couple years ago. Somebody that watches the channel said, hey, pick one of these out. I want to give it to you. So that Hot Wheel there actually almost outbeat almost all the other Hot Wheels we have. So I'm like, yeah.
We have a good Hot Wheel collection going right now.
So, well, I need to take, I have like 2 of these. So I need to take this one out of the package and take it. And so that way the little Maverick sport truck can race it. So I gotta take that one home and try that one out. But I need 2 because right now we got even numbers of all of the ones. But there's a Mustang over there. I'll tell you what, the Mustangs did pretty well too. We had some bunch of different Mustangs and they did well. There's a Lightning up there. You'd think it would outrun them all. So anyway,
so
that's what we did.
Bucky says you should get a green screen up like the weather forecasters use, so you can change your background at will. We're working.
Well, the one thing that
you'll have to see.
One thing I like about green screens is you can, like, if people move, you can kind of tell that it's a fake. It's a fake, like, picture or whatever behind you.
It doesn't cut the hair perfectly, and so, like, for me, I have a lot of baby hairs that you can't see right now.
Now, people that do that with Zoom, you can tell the difference. But if it was actually a green screen, then it would probably work just fine. But
anyway. If you watch weather forecasters, like the women will slick their hair down so that they don't have flyaways because you can see flyaways.
We will have a background that's going to be also sound deadening a little bit on that one wall.
So that way, if any sound's trying to come through it,
we may have to put those on the other wall too. For the office that's on the other side. So this conference where we're getting it's a conference room that's basically we're getting a third of the conference room. It was a really long conference room and they're not using all of it. And they got some more sales guys. So they kind of needed some extra desks. And so they asked us,
you'll get a full tour.
Yeah, you get a full tour, especially if you're a member. yeah. So anyway, so
you'll post you'll
so the
probably
new
do a
wall,
coffee time with Tim up there that first day, and then a lot walk will happen up there. And after your lot walk, I'll probably wait a week or two, and then I'll do my little short
we'll
walk through.
The new wall up there, we could also, because they're going to be doing things on the other side. But to be honest, during the live stream, everybody's gone, and most of the times I'm going to record videos. Although
most people aren't up there.
Well, they have a meeting at noon on Monday and Tuesday.
Yeah,
and it's 30 minutes or less. And then they have another meeting on Monday afternoon that's usually real quick.
Yeah.
Most of their meetings are always like 20, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And then a Thursday and Friday morning, one at noon on Wednesday. So most of the meetings are really short and not when I'd be recording videos. So it should be pretty quiet over there, which is cool. And we noticed the overhead where it dings and you can hear the paging. That's on the other side of the wall.
Oh, I know.
So it's not on our side, which is great. But I don't know. We'll see. Might have to put sound deadening on that wall too. We'll see.
Well, let's encourage the other side to be sound
I thought about putting one of these. This is actually going to go outside our door. We'll actually have a door. So
get a second one.
We can do different colors with this and different sayings. You can't really see that it's red. Anyway, so this is kind of cool. So that'll go up on the wall on outside of our door, and we can control it well. Tried the other day after you connected, I couldn't connect to it.
Yeah.
So anyway, so we'll get this, but we could get a second one. My thought was get a second one on the wall on the other side. So when we go live, we could do that wall too, and people that are over there can see and go, oh, they're on air. What? They're on air. Be like, I don't know what to talk about. All right. That's enough of that. Okay, so what is going on? Let's do. You got a good dealer moment? Get that figured out?
Well, my laptop shut off, but I can pull one up on here.
We can skip it this week.
Keep moving?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
I'm kind of running out.
Scheduling information. So I did do a video earlier today, 30 minutes, 6:30, actually about an hour ago now, that went over the scheduling notes. Now this is, and it gets really confusing because this is now July 1st, and that gets really confusing to people going, okay, when you say this month, I'm still thinking June. So what we get for allocations for June is for what gets scheduled for August production dates. And so today and this week's was a lot of that. So you're getting at this point to where they pretty much scheduled their month at all the plants for the month of August. They're pretty much done. If that plant still is scheduling this week, it's because they're only going to be scheduled for the things that can fill in. It's kind of like, filling in and pouring water into rocks to kind of fill in those open little slots, right? So because of that, there are several plants that are done. They balanced out 25 model year and haven't started 26 yet because that'll start happening for the month of July. So 26 Mustang, Escape, Explorer, and Transit. Well, Transit schedule in 25s this month. But those three, Mustang, Escape, and Explorer, they're done with 25 model year, and they scheduled that all out like the last couple of weeks. So now they're ready to start on. They're ready to go to 26 model year, which won't happen yet. So I figure the week of the 14th is when we'll start seeing the allocations that we earn for July, which we're supposed to find out our numbers tomorrow, and those will go into effect for September build dates. So that's kind of how that works. You're going a couple months out. Now, Bronco Sport and Maverick are both scheduling. And again, it's very limited scheduling, cleanup scheduling. For one, a dealer needs an allocation. For two, it has to fit the criteria of what they have. They're pretty much already scheduled out all their, most of their vehicles. So that's the case on that. And then Expedition is scheduling as well. Again, they scheduled out most of the month already, but evidently have some availability for scheduling. Something I did notice this last couple of weeks ago was that we knew there was an issue with the 24-inch wheel. So that Platinum Ultimate package was something that wasn't available because of that 24-inch wheel, but they did add the availability to add the 22-inch wheel to the Ultimate package. Well, some people that got scheduled with the 22s noticed that their order got changed this week to 24s again. So I don't know if the 24s are back in. We didn't get any kind of notice on it or anything, but that might be the case. But It does say exhaust availability for the active Tremor King Ranch. So that leaves Platinum. So pretty much they could schedule Platinum without the 24-inch wheel. Platinum with the driver's package, or a regular Platinum, or Stealth also. Super Duty is scheduling again. Dealer needs allocations. Like, we're out of allocations for Super Duty. Most of them got scheduled last week. But again, they scheduled out a lot of those the build dates between the 21st of July through August 4th. So it's really pretty much, certain things they're looking for, right? And then F-150 is not scheduling, Lightning is not scheduling, and Transit is not scheduling. So there's only a couple plants that are scheduling this week. So, but in that video, I also talked about the information for next month. When I say next month, I mean July. So I did mess that up in the video, because I say next month because today is the 1st. Let's just call it June 31st. Anyway, so this is what's happening for July's allocations, which will start the week of July 14th. Again, most dealers are getting their numbers this week and part of next week. They have to have the OTD selections done by the 11th, and then they'll start scheduling the week of the 14th. So 14th, the 21st, and the week of the 28th. Well, those will be the 3 main weeks for scheduling for the September build dates. So I don't need to go through this because I went through it in the video, but here's the models that are doing startup scheduling for 26 model year. The Mustang, the Escape plug-in, Explorer, and Transit are all doing startup scheduling. Mustang was scheduled for 3 weeks, Escape for 2 because the plant will be down the week of the 15th of September. Explorer for 3 and Transit for 2 because they're scheduled for the last 2 weeks of September because they're doing 25 into the second week of September. And then the others will be scheduled for 4 weeks. About everybody else will schedule 4 weeks of production for the whole month of September. The FX package on the Mustang is going to be available at the launch, but unless you order it with the GT Performance package, and then it will not. And then let's see what else. The Escape, 85% of the production will be for gas motor, not hybrid, just so you're aware of that. And then 0 engine block heaters. Also, the Escape plug-in is different, though, from the Escape hybrid, so that they go differently. So they will schedule plug-ins, just not more than 15% hybrids, if that makes sense. 0% will be ST Line Select as well. Actually, it says ST Line Select 19-inch. But I think that's the standard wheel. Anyway. And then let's see what else. Bronco. 32% will be the Big Bend trim, and free demand on the modular hardtop. So pretty much they're not getting many orders on that. So if you order one, you're going to get it scheduled. The Outer Banks with the painted hardtop is 16% production, and they also need some Badlands with the 2.7s on the Bronco. See, Bronco Sport, 54% will be Bronco Sport. And they have a new optional wheel. So we'll talk about that in a little bit here. New optional wheel, and then a black appearance package available at 8% and 0 engine block heaters until January 26th. They actually have the date there. Just crazy. And then Maverick is the same way on the engine block heater. No engine block heaters until January 26th. Let's see. Expedition active will be 40%. Lux package, that's your Platinum Ultimate, 0%. They said recommend removing it. Maverick, 0% all-wheel drive hybrid. So if you're all-wheel drive hybrid, it's not going to get scheduled for September build date. They need some front-wheel drive hybrids. 0% trimmer and 0% engine block heater. Ranger, 0% for the 2.7 engine. And then, by the way, on Ranger, Raptor, we're supposed to be getting a good chunk of allocations this month. I believe we can help get scheduled about 25% of our unscheduled orders this month. So we're told. So I guess we'll find out tomorrow. For sure. Let's see what else. F-150, they need some more 2.7 and 3.5 hybrid orders. They said remove the moonroof unless it's a hybrid made into Dearborn only. Super Duty, the F450 Pickup will be up to 8.7% capacity. That is a big number because I remember it was 2%. Then I remember it was a big deal when it doubled to 4% last March or April. And then they said it was going to be 5%. I'm like, oh, this is good. Now it's at 8.7% production. We got 5 F450s scheduled like 2 weeks ago or last week on startup. So they definitely are scheduling more. Also, crew cab will be 75% of the production, which is also a good thing because they keep making dealers order those regular cab and super cabs that we don't want. So that is a good thing to see there. Let's see what else. Lightning, does say XLT will be 20%, Flash 40%, Lariat 23%, and Platinum 7%. 60, 70, 80, 90, and then 10% Pro. There you go. There's that. All right. That's kind of a recap of scheduling from earlier. You didn't watch it. There you go. Any questions about that?
Not really. Any news on when new specs will be dropped on the 2026 Maverick?
Nope. I got a lot of people. I've been told it's the same timeline as last year. So I don't know if you remember from last year, but order banks opened on August 1st last year. I remember it because we had our meetup happening, and it launched and opened right before our meetup.
That's right, like the week before.
Yeah. So this year, maybe it'll be the week after our meetup, but somewhere right around that time of the meetup. So
yeah.
So Bronco Sport will be the same time. So both of them should open around the 1st of August. They didn't give me a date. They won't give me a date yet. I will say this, it's not going to happen this month because they would have mentioned it. Or it's not going to happen within the next couple of weeks, or they would have mentioned it in the wholesale call yesterday.
Yeah.
Also not mentioned in here, I didn't mention, but job 2 for Ranger and Bronco will be for September build dates. So the order guides are not available yet, and the order banks aren't open for job 2 yet, but they should be real soon because at least they will by the 14th, I would think. Probably sometime this week or early next week is when they'll switch over the order bank to the job 2. And then that'll give all those orders that job 2 notation on the window sticker. And there are some, we'll talk in a little bit about the changes to the Bronco job 2 that we have, that we know about.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about that in a second when we get to the dealer news updates. And then see what else. I think that's it. I don't know about any other order guides that are opening that are coming up. People are asking me about F-150, and Lobo just opened up. I think I feel like Lobo's a job 2, but they're not really saying job 2's opened up. But I assume that's kind of just happening. Lobo's are going to start scheduling for September build dates. So July is, I think they said with this July scheduling is when they said they'll start scheduling Lobos. So they haven't even started scheduling Lobos. So we know that they're going to produce for a while. So I'd assume on F-150, it's going to be like September for when 26 model year will open up. That's a good, I feel like a good guess because let's say they're going to schedule, let's say September, October at least for production. So let's say November is 26, go back 2 months, you're talking September. So I would probably say September is when that one will open up, the F-150. Lightning will go along with that. See what else hasn't opened yet. Oh, Bronco and Ranger. I think production will go through the end of the year. I think at least through November. So you probably will see. I know there's an event coming up in August. I think they will reveal information in August, and maybe at that time open up order banks. So late August, early September, right? And they do it 2 months out. So they start scheduling. Probably won't start scheduling until October. Last year it was October when they started scheduling, or the order banks opened last October. That's what it was. But production didn't start until January of this year, current year we're in. So I just say it's going to be probably similar time frame for that as well. And that would cover all of them. So except for Expedition. 26 Expedition hasn't gone either. So we'll see. Let's see, what was the Expedition with last year? We went to the embargoed event. It was later, like F-150 time range. It was probably September, wasn't it?
Yeah.
When it opened up, September, October. So Expedition will probably be coming up too. So
because it was Maverick, Bronco Sport, Expedition. So it's
Yeah.
Maverick was August.
I think probably the timeline, the next ones that we see will probably be Maverick and Bronco Sport right around late July, early August. And then I would say F-150, Lightning, and probably Expedition probably be September. And then Bronco and Ranger will probably be like October or something. Not necessarily that they need to separate them out. It's they'll do what they need to, but just going off of last year's time frame is probably what they'll go off of this year. None of those other than Bronco will be a new thing. And question is on Bronco is it going to be a next gen? Is it going to be a refresh, or is it just going to be a new package? That's the question on Bronco, because typically a new gen's every 6 years. And when did it come out? 21. So 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26 would be 6 years. So 27 would be the next gen, typically on a normal cycle of 6 years. So the question is going to be whether or not this is just going to be a package for this year. Mm-hmm. That's what I assume. And then 27 will be a redesign or a 7th gen would be my assumption. There's something sticky on this.
Did the Maverick hoods change? I didn't think they changed from 22 to 25.
The hoods did not change, I don't believe.
Okay. Well, he says he had an accident and replaced the hood. The new hood is different underneath.
Well, they didn't make a big deal to us.
No, in fact, when we went to the embargoed event, I was like, well, people don't think that this is the actual vehicle because of where everything's lining up. And they said, well, we added these lines to the grill to match the hood because we don't want to have to remake all these hoods. Why remake the mold?
Yeah, I remember that.
Just for a refresh.
Yeah.
So that hood shouldn't have changed.
Crazy. Maybe there was something about it different, but I didn't think that they were.
Yeah.
Unless they did something different in 24 that they didn't do in 25. Like 23 and 24 might be a little bit different construction or something. But from what I understand, the exterior design now, unless you were talking about the underside, that's a possibility, right? Because we did just like with the engine, they didn't make a big deal about the change in the EcoBoost engine for 25. Like
True.
They could have made they should have made it, in my opinion. That was they lost something there. They could have made a big deal because they cleaned that up. They did some things to the engine, right? And they didn't make a big deal about it. They did the same thing on Bronco. Bronco and Ranger 2.3s got changed too. And they didn't make a big deal about that. It's like, why not? I think maybe because the numbers didn't change. So that's why they didn't make a big deal about it. But anyway, there we go. Okay. Anything else?
No. Will the Bronco Sport get a hybrid option?
We don't know.
Oh, he's saying I'm wondering if the Escape goes away after 26, if the Bronco Sports will get a hybrid option. Like kind of bring the Escape back to that body style that the Bronco Sports taken on.
So what I'd like to see is I'd like to see them. Now, one of the things they've said is they don't want to change and compromise the Bronco Sport for its off-road capabilities because of the hybrid. And we told them this as well. We were like, why not allow the hybrid on the Badlands edition or a Sasquatch?
Yeah.
Right? Like it's not available with the Sasquatch, but make it available on your Big Bend and your Outer Banks as an option to go to hybrid.
Right.
Right. But it's not available with like the Black Diamond package or any of your off-road packages. Right. That's what I think they should do. And there's no reason why they couldn't do that and say this engine is not available with this configuration.
Right.
If you're ordering this, it gets the EcoBoost engine.
Yeah.
But I also think that I think on they could have done on the Outer Banks was that Sasquatch package get the 2.0. And I thought that was a loss that they should have made that available, or any of your off-road editions. So leave the 1.5. 1.5 is a pretty good engine, nothing wrong with it. But yeah, making that hybrid available. I think that why not? Because they were like, well, but it loses this. I'm like, no, you don't understand. There are a lot of people that don't intend to take their vehicle off-road, their Bronco Sport off-road,
especially Bronco Sport,
right?
Yeah.
So let them know that. Don't give them the off-road capable ones. Don't allow them to have it.
Because you have the F-150 that has. Do you lose towing capability with the Power Boost?
No, actually, Power Boost is better towing capabilities.
Okay.
Because it's not necessarily about the fuel economy, but it's about the performance of that combined. Because you're getting that hybrid combined with the 10-speed.
That's right.
It's a different hybrid 10-speed, and so yeah, because most hybrids it's a 1-speed, but that one in the F-150 it's a full power boost.
Okay.
That's why they call it power boost and not just,
Yeah, a hybrid.
Hybrid, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know. We'll see what only. I mean, we don't know yet. We'll have to see. I don't see any. They made some significant changes to the Bronco Sport for 25 with a different look and everything. I think they did an incredible job from 24 to 25.
Yeah.
I think it's so much better vehicle. And I think Maverick did the same. I think Maverick hit it out of the ballpark too. So neither one of those are going to get significant changes. Whether we see the hybrid available in the Bronco, maybe a Bronco Sport. I don't know, but and then I don't think people are wanting a plug-in hybrid or an electric Maverick. I don't think it's going to happen.
No.
So, and
as much as we would love it to.
Now maybe second gen, maybe, but not right now. So we'll
not
see.
When they've just done their refresh.
We are more likely to see is a switch of packages, kind of like the Mustang did this year. Do it away with California Special, and they brought out an FX package. So there's something like that you might see, like introducing a black appearance package. What they really need to do is, we're going to talk about Explorer and how smart they were on the trimmer. They need to go back to the Maverick like they did before and make that trimmer available as an XLT.
Yeah.
So don't necessarily make it a package, but make it a kind of like they did on the Lobo. Yeah. They have 2 different tiers of Lobo. They need to do 2 different tiers on the Maverick. And I think they really felt like most people that they did the same thing on Lariat. They loaded it up, right? Because they said most people that are ordering Lariat are getting all 3 of the packages. Well, so that's what they did with trimmer, because they said trimmer, most people that ordered the trimmer went ahead and loaded it up. And so that's why they only made 1 trimmer. Well, they did that with Expedition. But we're going to talk about tonight of what they did to Explorer, and I think that was a smart move. And hopefully the other models learn from that example, and we see that this year. But anyway.
Who did we have here? Which employee was it that was waiting a long time for a manual Bronco? Was it one of our techs?
I don't know. I don't remember.
I know one of them waited a long time for a Maverick.
I know that we had someone that has we got a manual Badlands that just arrived for a customer of ours that I've been in communication with and letting them know, and which is good because they're going to be going out of country tomorrow, and it came in like yesterday, so I think they got their deal booked last night.
Nice.
So they can get all the paperwork done, and then it'll be here when they get back.
Okay.
But that way they got that employee pricing, because when they ordered it was back in December, and because this is one that got scheduled for February build date, and since it was a manual, they got pushed back into May, and so they didn't order on the employee pricing, and so we were going to go ahead and give it to them regardless.
It's that one. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I don't know if it's that same one, but it's another one.
One of them.
Yeah.
No, he's remembering Mike Mueller, Darren Smith ordered a 21 Bronco and a 22 Maverick. So Derek Stitham has a 21 Bronco, right?
Yes.
And Darren Smith has a 22 Maverick. Or a 23.
Nice. He's got, I don't know what he's got now. He's got a mach-e now.
Oh, that's right. He traded for a mach-e.
Yep.
A lot of our employees have traded for mach-es.
Yep. All right. Any other questions?
Nope. We are good to go. Okay.
We have some good dealer news updates. Not a lot. Like I said, let's talk about this Maverick one from yesterday, in case you guys didn't see the Maverick Monday video. So this in here is just came out yesterday. It's on unscheduled order amendment. So this is for 25 model year Maverick with a 2.0 EcoBoost that are unscheduled orders, pretty much, and even some of the scheduled orders. We even talked about this in the schedule notes that the emissions is a constraint. So people, for job 3 on the Maverick that started this week, actually, job 3 production for the the Maverick. And this happens for the Bronco Sport, but this is not talking about Bronco Sport here. But the new emissions, they put a gas particulate filter on the Mavericks to comply with some federal or some California emissions that has to happen. And there's 17 states. I'll go over those. But anyway, so let me just read this. It says, due to a supplier shortage, 25 model year Maverick 2.0 retail stock fleet unscheduled orders from dealers located in federal, non-California emission states may be spec changed to remove the 50 state emissions 425 option and replace it with the federal non-California emissions 42 option. In order to avoid production delays, Ford Motor Company will execute the spec change on affected unscheduled orders. Window labels will be updated to reflect the equipment change. So on the window stickers, it usually has that option on it that says it's the emissions, and that'll be taken off for those those orders. It says for 25 model year, impacted states include Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas, Florida, Georgia, Hawaii, Idaho, Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, Kansas, Kentucky, Louisiana, Michigan, Mississippi, Missouri, Montana, Nebraska, New Hampshire, New Mexico, North Carolina, North Dakota, Ohio, Oklahoma, South Carolina, South Dakota, Tennessee, Texas, Utah, West Virginia, Wisconsin, and Wyoming. So basically there's 17 CARB states or California emission states. And so all the ones that this affects is the ones that aren't in one of those states. So let me finish reading and then I'll recap. The 25 Maverick order guide will also be updated to reflect this change. Dealers located in federal non-California emission states will be restricted from ordering the 50 state emissions 425 option on 25 model year Maverick. Please note that 2025 model year Maverick is eligible to be sold in all states, regardless of sales date or emissions equipment. So one of the things is, and people are like, well, why, if you were in a non-CARB state, would you order one? Well, with us, we sell to all states. So in fact, I think about every year we've sold to all 50 states every year, and in the last several years. And so we sell to people in California. We have one of our members that's bought several Mavericks from us from California. Well, he has to have California emissions if he gets an EcoBoost. So we would order this. We do this on all our Mustangs. We do 50 states because we sell Mustangs to California all the time. In fact, we on purpose don't use sometimes a Roush supercharger because it's 49 state compliant.
Yeah.
And it's not available in California. And we saw a lot of Mustangs supercharged in California. So that's why we'll put Whipple, which is 50 state compliant. So for that same reason, if we have in-stock vehicles, if I have them out there on the lot and somebody wants one off our lot that's from California or one of the other 16 states, there's 17 of them total, then we wouldn't be able to sell it to them until now. So that's why we would order that. So what it's basically saying is that it will get dual certification. So this year on 25 model year, you will not have to worry about that. So the states that are not in the 17 CARB states, because there's a shortage, they want to make sure the CARB states get them. And for that reason, they will automatically be inspected in those states. So California, Colorado, I know is one of them. Some of the other states. So those states there, Connecticut, Vermont, some of those, they will automatically get the emissions and they'll get the filter. So that way there's no shortage. So what was basically happening is people in these other states were ordering that option. They were getting their order scheduled, which means their order gets a gas filter. That means there's one less that could be scheduled in one of those 17 states. Mm-hmm. And so because of that, that caused a constraint for orders in those states. And so to free that up, they're taking those off of those other states to allow for those other the CARB states to get them. Now, and he even the brand manager even told me there will also be some people in the CARB states that theirs will get built without the filter because they will not cause a vehicle not to schedule because of that. So if they are constrained where they're at 0% capacity for that filter coming into a week, then they will take the orders no matter what state they're in and take off that 425 option so that the order gets scheduled.
Right.
So then it'll get built without it, even if
Okay.
it's in a state. But for this year, it's not a requirement for the 25 model year. It's a requirement for 26. Ford is just getting ahead of the game on this. Now, I probably will, well, I guess we'll see. I just don't think they make enough Bronco Sport Badlands that this is an issue with them, probably.
Okay.
And that's why we're not seeing the memo. But there you go. So hopefully that clarifies things. And I got it clarified in yesterday's video. But that is he felt like that was going to be a confusion. That's why he gave that information to me.
Yeah.
Actually, I got this information before it was released, which is kind of funny. Just because he knew that he said, "Hey, are you going to do a video? Would you?" Because I actually recorded a different Maverick Monday video. So Niles,
Yes.
you guys know Niles. He's actually in one of the videos we recorded yesterday on a new hardtop for the Maverick, a trifold, which I think is the best one they make. My opinion. We did a video on that, so that one will probably actually will air into 2 Mondays. Next Monday we got a special Maverick that we're going to do a video on, and then the week after that we'll do that one. So anyway, all right, moving on. So we don't need to cover this. It's on 26 Mustang. We covered that last week. The rest of these are kind of notes on some different changes on the order guide based on the wholesale call that we had. And so this one here is on the 25 model year Bronco Job 2 update. So Job 2, there will be some changes to the Bronco. So here are the changes that are going to happen from Job 1 to Job 2. And it does say Job 2 will be this wholesale, which means that'll be September's production will be Job 2. It does say in here they are deleting the mid-package as standard content on the Big Ben and Badlands. So they will reintroduce the 221A and the 331A options for both the Big Ben and well, not both, because the Big Ben will be 221, the Badlands will be 331. Also, MSRP will go down. So that was the other thing. I'm like, so are they going to take that away and then keep the MSRP the same? No, they're going to really reduce that by $1,540. That's what the mid package will cost for the Big Ben, and it'll cost $1,675 for the Badlands. And looking at the options on these, and we'll talk about the mid package in a second. The mid package will be optional. So you'll want 222A for the Big Ben if you want the mid package, or 332A for the Badlands if you want the mid package. So let's go over this because I didn't look at this, and Ragnarcon had a great theory on this, and I think he might be right. But let's go through the package for both the Big Ben and the Badlands. It'll come with the intelligent access, the 2-door intelligent access with unlock and lock. They're going to get standard push button start already. Auto dimming rear view mirror, the dual zone climate control. It says includes AC. Front row heated seats, the illuminated sliding visors with the vanity mirrors for the driver and front passenger. Power outlet behind the back of the console, so that 110 outlet. Remote start system with your automatics. Rear parking sensors. It does say Ford Copilot 360, which you kind of already get it, but I think what you get on this, and it doesn't mention it here, is you get your lane keeping system and you get your Bliss with cross traffic alerts. And that's not mentioned here, but that's what you get on that. And then the connected nav for 1 year subscription. So that is what's included in there. Now, those are both the same on both of them, but you notice that the Badlands is $125, $35 more. And so Reddit kind of had a good thought on our live stream. We talked about this for our members, is that the heated steering wheel is new for the Badlands as standard equipment. Yeah. And he's thinking maybe that will be included in this package and that it's not won't be standard equipment.
Right.
And that is a possibility because when you think about what was changed from 24 to 5, and that was a change, was heated steering wheel became standard on a Badlands.
Right.
So we'll have to see if that's what it is. Also on the Raptor, there will be a new optional full display rear view mirror on the Bronco Raptor. I don't know exactly what this is, but it does say it's a $545 option. So it says full display mirror added, rear view mirror. So people think it's going to have something to do. I think it's the frameless mirror, but I don't know. The person that went over this in our region, I don't think they were 100% accurate of what they thought it was. They thought it was going to be like a camera like rear camera or whatever.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Anyway, we'll see. They think it'll be that when you back up, the camera will be in full display there. But I'm like, you have it on the screen, so I don't think that's true. So I don't know. Anyway, also it does say in here, okay, they mentioned the strop again because they need people to order strops. But there you go. Those are the changes. So mainly it's just that mid package. So it does say in here, job 1 is balanced out. So they're done scheduling it. So anyway, so we haven't seen the new order guide for that yet. That should be coming out soon. But and then let's talk about some order guide changes for 25 model year. On the Bronco Sport, they removed the freewheeling from the Bronco Sport. So you can no longer order a freewheeling for the rest of the model year for the Bronco Sport. So they removed that from everywhere it was listed. So they took out the freewheeling pages from the order guide. They removed it from the major changes. They removed the wheel options and everything, the configuration and everything. They also are adding a new wheel to the Big Ben. It's not a new wheel. It's a new optional wheel. So the wheel that is a part of the Black Diamond package now will be available as optional equipment on a standard Big Ben.
Oh, okay.
Not available with the Black Diamond, the Black Appearance package. So it's 17-inch carbonized gray aluminum wheel. I actually like that wheel on the Black Diamond package. So that wheel will be available as a standalone option on a Big Ben. And I think the reason they did that, I think it goes along. You also get the all-terrain tire that goes with it, I'd assume. So, and I think that was probably a change, not because they had issue with production of that wheel. I think it's because of the tire, right? Because we knew that was going to be an issue. So they're trying to get ahead of game on that problem there. So that is the changes that happened on the Big Ben. So they changed that page. Shoot fly. Anyway, the Expedition order guide changed, the 25 Expedition. So they added a new platinum wheel, the 22-inch wheel that's part of the driver package. That wheel is a standalone option on your platinum with the ultimate package. So I think it's optional equipment on the platinum. So you can get a base platinum with it, not available with the stealth, but you can also add it with that package. So that way you can still get your vehicle ordered with the ultimate package. What else? Oh, they also changed and revised the 2-speed transfer case wording. So it said with the touch on demand, now that description, it says the 2-speed transfer case with torque on demand. So it's a typo though. Instead of touch, it's torque. It's supposed to be torque. So it's funny because some of these things are changes that I've noticed and that I found for them. Like on the 26 model year, I was like, oh, yeah, that's the one I told them about. So, yeah. So on the Platinum, they added that option about the wheel. I noticed on the F-150 Lightning, they added a couple things to the 25 model year F-150 Lightning for some reason. Freestanding option on the Flash, they added this option called 8-speaker sound system placeholder.
Oh.
It says required option when standard is unavailable. So I don't know what that means exactly. They added the same wording to the Platinum. They added that to the Lariat as well. And then on the Platinum, it says 14-speaker sound system placeholder. Required option when standard is unavailable. So I'm wondering if like the openings are there and they won't have 14 speakers or 8 speakers. I don't know. Don't get it. 26 model year, the Escape order guide. It came out just a couple weeks ago. It's already changed and updated. They forgot to add the 19-inch ebony painted machine face aluminum wheel as standard on Platinum, which I found and told you guys that in the what's changed for this year. So that was added to the order guide. And in a lot of places where last year it was a new feature, like power lift gate on an active and some other things like that, they were like last year, I think the connected nav was new in the tech package 2 or whatever. They forgot to take out the little asterisk that noted it was a new feature because this year wouldn't be new. It was new last year. It was on last year, so that wouldn't be new this year. So they had to remove a couple little asterisks on some vehicles. I'm like, what is different? I'm like, oh, wait, that's missing. yeah. Anyway, I noticed that on those order guides. So several places where that was the note there. But yeah, that's it there. So there were some changes on the Super Duty. I couldn't quite notice them right off the bat, so I'll do some more digging before next week.
Okay.
That's that.
All right.
Any questions so far? Or
Nope.
since last time?
Mm-mm.
All right. We have 3 recalls. That's it. Woohoo!
Ooh.
One of them's one that people have been wanting.
Yeah.
So let's cover these. So there's 3 recalls, and one of them, this is on the Mach-E. So 21 to 25 model year Mustang Mach-E vehicles with a discharged 12-volt battery. This is the one we talked about, how it could be a big deal because then the door would lock on them, and then you couldn't, if you're on the outside, you couldn't open the door for like a child or something inside, right? Yeah. So that recall is now available. 196,973 people are available for this. In fact, we're getting ours done tomorrow.
Right.
Jeff's got his. I got mine. We're gonna get them both done tomorrow. Service said they could do them. It's a software update basically. So in here, an event, an unexpected 12-volt battery discharge below 8.4 volts at key off, the front door electronic latches retain their last lock unlock status. If the driver or front passenger exit the front doors using the mechanical inside release handles, the doors may remain locked when they are reclosed, and then you won't be able to open them because the battery is too low, right?
Right.
This may result in unexpected lockout condition for the driver and front passenger without ability to immediately re-enter the vehicle. So what you'd have to do is there's a spot in the front of it. You'd have to pop that off. You'd have to pull that to open your frunk and then get into the frunk. Then you'd have to put something on your battery to charge it up enough to be able to pop the doors open. Okay. So that's a software issue. So there's going to be a software update, and letters are going out next week for them, but the recall is available now. So you can go to your dealers and they can do this. This is just a FDRS has been updated. So basically they just have to go in and connect this in and do the software update. Or at least check it. So it may not need it. So we're going to bring our 23 and 24 Mach-E's in to have that done tomorrow. So, all right. This next one is a compliance recall 25C18 for 2020 to 2023 model year Lincoln Aviator and Corsair vehicles. Of course, we're not a Lincoln dealer anymore, with the Revel audio system. So 3,240 vehicles are affected by this. According to Ford's records, certain 2020 to 2023 model year Lincoln Aviator and Corsair vehicles may not have the remedy for compliance recall 22C35 installed correctly, but were recorded as having received the repair successfully. Because the correct software update may not have been installed on these vehicles, the underlying condition specified in compliance recall 22C35 may still exist. So that's why that's going out. And then it does say letters are going to go out next week to those owners for that one. All right. And lastly is safety recall 25S51. This is for 25 model year Expedition and Navigator vehicles. Only 170 vehicles affected by this. And this is an advanced notice, which means the recall fix isn't available yet. So all affected vehicles have the potential. Hey, this is 25. This could be ours. Oh. Potential for the passenger airbag to inflate with increased pressure or velocity when it deploys during a crash. These airbags contain internal mesh filters that were built with the incorrect mesh thickness inside the passenger airbag inflator. If there is an increase if there is an increase in airbag pressure or velocity in a crash, this can affect the airbag interaction with the occupant and increase the risk of injury. So yes, they said they'll be notified within the next 60 days. So assume you can go in and see if that's if your vehicle is affected by that or not. It is vehicles, it's Expeditions built between March 27th of 25 through May 28th of 25. You know when mine was built? March 30th. So it's in that window. On the Navigators, it's March 22nd of 25 through May 30th of 25. So 170 vehicles. So
yep,
we'll see. If just because it was built within that time window doesn't mean yours was affected. So I'll look mine up and see.
Yeah.
All right.
Ford enthusiast, well, I agree. Digital rear view mirror would be nice. That's just one more thing that's digitized that could go wrong.
Yeah.
Because I saw, I don't know what vehicle it was that I got into. It was one of our luxury vehicles, but their rear view mirror is the camera view.
Is it? There's some vehicles that do that, or they'll do the side mirror too. So I do. One of the features I really do like on our Expedition is when you put your turn signal on, it's the camera beside the vehicle. I know there are other models that do that too. That is kind of cool feature.
Yeah.
Anyway, we are getting used to our Expedition and where things are at right now. I know that there's an article that came out and somebody said that the 25 Expedition is nearly perfect vehicle. And they said the only thing that could have made it like perfect for them was the physical buttons. So it's like, but I will say this, ours doesn't have physical buttons, but we're very getting used to that. So all the driver memory stuff we don't mess with. I do like, so ours has the memory features. So like once we set it and we set our profile, we don't have to do it again. If I get in there, even if we both get in with our keys, whoever's key is sitting in that driver's seat, it automatically adjusts. Like as soon as I open the door and I put my hand in the driver's door, it opens up. It starts adjusting the seat, the steering wheel, and all that to my settings. And it pops up on that screen and says it's me.
That's nice.
Yes. Now, if I don't have my key, as long as the vehicle's in park, I can switch to my profile and it moves everything.
Oh, okay.
But the key is sometimes I'll get going and I'm like, oh no, it's on your setting. Well, if you're driving along and you switch it, it will not switch your settings. And then if you park and put it in park, it won't adjust.
You have to be in park.
You have to be like in park. And so that's the only thing I don't like about that. But anyway, otherwise it's, I mean, like ours, it's a set and forget it. So our mirrors, our, the steering wheel, everything, is those settings. So the only thing is, I don't know if it works this way, but it would be really nice if like the cruise control, I could set it for my tolerance. So, like we'll come back from junction or whatever, and your mom's like, well, that the Blue Cruise won't work because you're going 82. I'm like, oh, it bumped up on me. I was wondering why it wasn't working. So I hit it twice, go down to 80, and then Blue Cruise works. And she says, yeah, I don't use the Blue Cruise because I go 82. I said, that's why I'm going 80. What's 2 miles in an hour, really?
Yeah.
For the convenience that I have, I don't know. Exactly. I do like Blue Cruise, and I actually might purchase it on that vehicle just as often as we drive on the highway with it. Yeah. Anyway, and she used it too. She kind of liked it.
Yeah, you told me that.
When she could use it, but when she goes 82, she can't. So you set your tolerance, and a lot of times, the tolerance is set to +7. So it'd be really nice if I could set my tolerance to +5. So when we're at 75, and she can keep hers at 82 if she wants. Now you still get adaptive cruise at 82.
Yeah.
But because you have to have your hands on the steering wheel. So like I mentioned a couple of weeks ago, where if you put your hands over that, the sensor's right in the middle, so that it can't see it. Like I was eating ice cream, and I had the container right in front of that screen. It was like, you need to look at the road. I'm like, I am looking at the road. Oh, lower the ice cream down just a little bit. And it's like, I'm like, okay. So, and I'm like, that is, but if you look where like the F-150 is, they're up on the pillar. But if you look at the location of that, you couldn't put one on the right side of the Expedition because that dash is so far back. So there's no way. The console on the F-150 is up to where you could put it there. So they really don't have a place to put it. And that's where it is on the Mach-E. And I'm used to that.
Yes.
Because of the Mach-E. But so it's just getting some used to. But we are really enjoying it. But anyway, I'm getting away from our topic for tonight. Right. Speaking of some new changes and everything, let's talk about the 25, and I don't have this up. Let's talk about the 26 model year Ford Explorer. Now, 26 model year is not on Ford's website, so I don't really have visuals for this. We do have build and price on our website, and you can look at that. In fact, maybe that's what I'll do is I'll go over to our website. Hold on. Let me pull this down. And let me do this.
I'll have to see if I like the 25 Explorer.
You mean 26?
Yeah.
All right. Hard to get used to that, saying that. Okay. All right.
I generally don't like the Explorer.
The
Expedition is nice and big. I can drive an Expedition. I like it.
Okay, so on our website, we actually do have, we work the vendor, and we do have the 26 Explorer builder price. Now, it doesn't change the look of the vehicle, but it does tell you everything. Now, they might need to fix this because I don't know if that's right. Let me grab the pricing.
It's showing the Law McArthur page.
Oh, yeah.
But
so this year they did is they added 2 different trim levels. So last year we had active, ST line, platinum, and ST. This year we now have an active, they call it base on there, or 100A. And then they also have a trimmer. So we'll talk about both of these because I think they did some good things for both of those. Now, this in here, the active 100A. Let me get the price list. Let me get the price list because I think I might need them to correct that because I was thinking it was 39. So yeah, that's not right. So I'll have them correct that. So that is not correct on there. So the price, hold on. Rear wheel drive. There you go. Okay, that's what I was looking at. So the price for the active, it starts at $38,330. Do you know what model is no longer available for the Ford lineup? Actually, I need to go to here.
Isn't available?
That is not available, that got discontinued.
The Edge.
Yes, the Edge. So let me switch to this one. So the Ford Edge is no longer available. Do you know where you can see on there? And actually, I can't tell you now, but the price started at $38,465.
Okay.
Now the Explorer with the active 100A starts at $38,330, cheaper than the Edge that didn't have a third row seat. So let's talk about some things that.
So now I can buy a third row seat vehicle for the same price as the Edge?
Now, yes. Right? Edge SE rear wheel drive was actually more expensive than a current 2 years later Ford Explorer.
Wow.
Right? So they were pretty smart. So what they did is they had active last year, or active is $40,450. Okay. So it's over $40,000. So what Ford wanted to do is boast that they have an under $40,000 option.
Okay.
Add your destination, you're actually over 40. Barely. Right. You're barely over 40.
Right.
Or you're still right under, I think. But here's some things that is different. So you have now active and active 100A. So what is the difference between the two? So your active last year is the same active as this year. So you don't lose really. Well, there are some features that went away, like, a couple that went away. But one of the things that you'll have different on the active is they did take some things. They decontented the active for the active 100A, but it may not make a difference. So let me show you and go over some things that it's different. So for one of them is they removed the active badge.
Okay.
Big deal, right? Now you just lost 10 horsepower. Just kidding. That's kind of the saying, right? You gain 10 horsepower by having a badge on there. Roof rack side rails are removed. Not a big deal. Manual lift gate instead of power lift gate. So again, may not be a big deal to people. The puddle lamps have been removed. The power driver seat has been removed. So it's a manual seat for the driver and front passenger. So the front passenger will be a 4-way manual, driver a 6-way manual seat. Or no, wait, 6-way power seat. So they removed the power recline, was removed from that. So you still get a power driver seat. So forward and back, up and down, I assume, maybe the tilt anyway. They deleted the front row heated seats. So you will not have heated seats on this version. Will not have a vinyl wrap steering wheel. It'll be the polyurethane or the urethane steering wheel. Okay. Active noise cancellation is removed. And then third row USB ports have been removed. So That is what's removed to make it to save you, what, $2,100 less.
Right.
Right. You still get the 13.2-inch center stack screens, the 12.3 digital cluster, the Ford digital experience, which is new for this, or Ford digital experience was continued from last year, but you do get the Ford connectivity package this year.
Yeah.
All of them are getting that this year, almost, except for the Escape. Copilot 360 Assist with adaptive cruise, still get that. And then you also do get the standard trailer tow hitch as well. So still getting all that. So I think that was a good call for Ford to do that.
Yeah.
So another thing that I think was a good call for Ford, and that is that the Tremor. So check out our Tremor here. And of course, Tremor's not shown because it's 4-wheel drive only. So Tremor starts at $48,330. So now it comes in. Now let's talk about the Expedition for just a second.
Yeah.
The Expedition on a Tremor, because I looked at that, was going to get that, right? The Tremor is actually more expensive than a standard Platinum. On Explorer, it's opposite. It's cheaper. And that is, if you look at this, and I don't know if it'll show this in here, but a standard Tremor is what's right at 50,000, right, with a destination. And that's not the image. I need to get them. I got to get them an image of that. Why don't they have it? Okay, I'll work with them on this. But this is not what the Tremor looks like, right?
Right.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, why can't they pull? Okay. Anyway, it's out there in marketing. I don't understand. Anyway, a lot of times they're really scared to get any images from Ford out there on the internet because they don't want to get in trouble and get this closed down. Now, one of the things that you get on this, it doesn't show you all that's included, but standard equipment on your Tremor it's really still really nice. 1-inch ride height increase, torsion limited slip differential. So that torsion differential, off-road tuned suspension, the steel underbody protection, front tow hooks, the off-road auxiliary grill lights, which look really cool in the grill, all-terrain tires, right? So they're a nice tire there. They're going to be based on the 2.3-liter EcoBoost engine. You also get 360-degree camera, 110 outlet. You get 10-speaker B&O sound system, front and second row liners. You get front heated and ventilated seats here, second row heated seats.
Okay.
Pretty well equipped for $48,000. So check this out. Let's go back to this. Look at the ST line. ST line is that sport version, but not the performance of the sport. And that's what this, for only $1,300, you get a Tremor.
Right.
With the increased ride height, with the torsion differential, with the off-road suspension, with all that stuff. You get heated and ventilated. You don't get heated and ventilated seats on an ST line. I think it's heated. You get heated second row. You don't get that on that either. B&O sound system, I don't think you get that. You don't get the 360 camera, I don't believe, with the ST line. I'm kind of liking this price point and what you're getting. I don't think the ST line is really, I think it hurts the ST line.
Yeah.
Because for only $1,300, I'll take a Tremor with all that equipment any day.
Yeah.
Now, there is a convenience package for the Tremor. Can't remember how much that is. I guess it'll tell us down here. So convenience package for the Tremor, that is $1,600. And it does add these things: the ambient lighting, auto dimming rearview mirror, the power and heated side mirrors with the turn signal, approach lamps, driver memory, and the auto dimming, rain sensing wipers, the memory seat for the driver. It'll be the seat and probably the mirrors too. Third row, power third row seat. So pretty nice little package there. $1,675. Or you can go the Tremor Ultimate package. It is $11,505.
Yeah.
Pretty big bump. But you get everything as part of that convenience package. Plus, you get that 3.0 EcoBoost engine. So this is where you get that EcoBoost engine. So, you get the upgraded B&O sound system, 14 speakers, ambient lighting. You get all, again, convenience package stuff. Panoramic fixed glass roof. Now, talk about that for a second, because we no longer have the twin panel Vista roof, moonroof.
Right.
So now we've gone to a fixed glass roof across the board, where it's optional equipment on about every trim level. In this package, it's standard. Some people are saying, well, that's fine. Most people don't open the glass roof, but you still, or you don't open that moon roof, and you don't have to worry about leaks and all that other stuff.
Right.
You still can look at the sky, power sunshade. Rain sensing wipers, driver memory, multi-contoured seats with active motion.
Yes.
Power third row seats, Blue Cruise hardware, and 90-day trial. Now, one of the things that we noticed on this when we were ordering these for some people is that the order system made us add the 1-year plan for $495. That is a glitch with Webdo. Because I reached out because people here, we kind of had this discussion about this, and I'm like, the order guide doesn't say you can have to do that. The order guide says that you can just add this package and you don't have to add the 1-year plan for Blue Cruise for those that don't want it. And it says, well, it's making you do it. So we know whatever's in the ordering system was what's right. I said, let me reach out. So I reached out to the brand manager and said, order guide says this, Webdo is doing this. And I said, yeah, that's a glitch with Webdo. I said, I thought so. So I was right on that. So that is a glitch. So if you're at a dealer and you're putting one in, just so you know, that is a glitch. And so you won't have to do that, hopefully. But right now, you might have to do it to submit it. But hopefully before they start scheduling, they fix that. But anyway, so that's that in there. But this is where you get the 3.0 EcoBoost engine, though. That engine is not available this year for the Platinum Edition.
Yeah.
So I think they've done some really smart moves. Some people are really upset that they took away the 3.0 EcoBoost out of the Platinum. They're kind of mad about that. If you want a luxury look and you still want the 3.0, I might agree with them. Yeah. I think maybe they should have left that. That might have been the one mistake, but I think they made a lot of smart moves when it came to the Explorer. And that's why I want to kind of talk about this, because I really think they did a good thing. That Active 100A is going to be a good thing. None of these images are changing. See, because these images didn't change from last year. So I'm going to send them the images, because you could build out an ST, and I'll send them Jeff's.
Yeah.
Jeff has already made thumbnails for me for all these videos.
Right.
So I'll just send them and said, here you go. Here's an ST line. Here's an active. Here's an active one. Just send them all the images that we have. Here you go. Can we use these? I'm like, yeah, that's right off of Ford's building price for last year. They didn't change the look of them. The wheels didn't change for any of these. Trimmers are new, but you can get all the trimmer through their website. Anyway, so now the other thing they mentioned is the Blue Cruise update for the Explorer.
Yeah.
So if you do want the Blue Cruise, then there's an update for this year. So now you can get, like, the ST line doesn't come with Blue Cruise hardware this year.
Okay.
But it's a standalone option. You can add it, and then but to do that, you have to take at least a 1-year plan or the 7-year plan to do it. To add the hardware. Well, it makes sense. No reason to add the hardware if you're not planning to use it, right?
Right.
So that is new for this year. Also, trimmer 2.3 liter standard equipment, you can add it as a standalone option too. And then ST and trimmer 3.0, it comes standard with a 90-day trial, and then you can buy the 1 year or the other. And then Platinum comes with a 1-year standard with the option of the one-time purchase, but it's only $2,000 instead of $2,400 because you're getting 1 year included.
Yeah.
But it's saying not only that, but the Blue Cruise, this is the first model, I think, that gets the automatic lane change.
Okay.
So remember how they highlighted that you don't have to hit the turn signal to switch lanes like I do now. That they're calling a Blue Cruise 1.5, which is not accurate because there's a Blue Cruise 2.0. So why would you? Anyway, so they're saying this is the automatic lane change. So what they're saying is, if you're coming up and you start slowing down, then it'll automatically start looking to see if you can pass them and change the lane for you. And you don't even, it'll put your turn signal on and change the lane for you.
Okay.
I don't know. I actually want to get in the vehicle to try this out. But so Ford, if you want to invite us up to test this out, I'll be a guinea pig. But there you go. So anyway, so good changes I think they made to the Explorer. And I think I'd like to see them roll that into other vehicles. Like the trimmer's a big one. We're probably going to stock a lot of trimmers, because we stock a lot of ST line Explorers right now, but that'll change for 26. I got a feeling that he's already ordered a bunch of standard trimmers.
Yeah,
I mean, because we can be under with our $1,000 of financing, we're going to be under $50,000 for a Ford Explorer off-road version, right? With that look. I mean, yeah, I think that's a big one, and I think they'd kind of hit it. I'd like to see them do that. Like I would have loved to see that in Expedition.
Yeah.
Give me a standard Expedition with a regular, not the high output V6 for $10,000 less and put it under the price of the Platinum, right?
Yeah.
I think they should do the same thing with the Maverick. We mentioned that earlier too. So anyway, so that was my thoughts on that. And I don't know what everybody else has to say on that, but we can kind of take questions regarding that. But I just think that I think they did a good thing this year with the Explorer. I think they made some good moves and everything. I kind of knew Tremor was coming a year ago or whatever. We knew that was coming because we, as dealers, we knew about it last year. But I think they made some good moves, especially adding that lower priced Explorer to get it under that $40,000 and priced right at where the Edge was.
Yeah.
So
I think I really like the fact that they brought that price down. So if you need to,
they didn't really raise the prices. If you look at prices from last year versus this year, they're about the same price.
But they brought the base price down to match what you could have gotten an Edge for, since they no longer have the Edge.
Now, I say that, now I got to actually say that not necessarily they're cheaper than last year at the start of last year. Okay. They're the same price as they ended, because they always do that. That's why Ford does a mid-year price increase, a yearly thing, is they raise the price before bringing out the next model so they can say the prices didn't go up. When in actuality, they went up halfway through the year in the model year. So if you actually compare it at the beginning of last year, then it probably did go up. But if, like we were just looking, compare it to the 24 Edge, and it's lower than the 24 Edge. Right. Because they didn't make a 25 Edge. So that's pretty impressive. So, all right.
Are we ready for questions? All right. How capable will the Tremor be? Like a Bronco Sport, Badlands, Sasquatch, or better?
Well, it's not going to probably have the ground clearance quite that the Bronco Sport would have. But and the suspension's not like the Bronco Sport Badlands. That has the Bilstein shocks and such. It's a different suspension. They don't mention the type of suspension the Explorer gets. It's an off-road suspension.
Yeah,
but it's not. It's not going to be as capable as a Bronco Sport or a Bronco.
I feel like Tremor is different than Sasquatch, just like Tremor's different than Raptor. I feel like Raptor and Sasquatch are very similar, while the Tremor is its own thing. It has some off-road capability, but it's not the off-road capable.
Yeah, it takes it's for those vehicles. I mean, I like the Tremor and what it does, but it takes that, like we used to say with the Bronco Sport versus the Bronco. So the Bronco Sport can get you to some nice areas, right? But not hardcore off-road areas like the Bronco will. So Bronco just takes you further up on the trail, as they say. And I think Explorer and Expedition get you up the trail, get you into some nice areas and nice camping areas, but they're not going to get you as far as like a Bronco Sport or a Bronco will. But it's still going to allow you to get off-road, off-grid a little bit and still enjoy some nice secluded campsites, dispersed camping and that kind of stuff if you want. With that, it is going to have the capabilities, and you can go on those little bumpy roads, right? And the off-road suspension isn't going to get tore up like it would be on a standard suspension, Explorer or Expedition, right?
So at this point, every model except for the EVs and the Mustang have a Tremor version, don't they?
Explorers, there's 5 Tremors or 6? So the Tremor, Explorer and Expedition, for your SUVs. The F-150 has a Tremor. Maverick has a Tremor.
And Super Duty.
There's not one for the Ranger, but the Ranger has Raptor.
That's
where I'm like, okay, because people are like, are they going to bring a Tremor to the Bronco or the others? I'm like, well, I think it's a different thing, and because that's another discussion.
Like I was saying, Tremor and Raptor are two different things.
There's another discussion. Do we need a Tremor if we have a Raptor?
Well, you have Bronco Raptor, you have Ranger Raptor, but you also have F-150 Raptor. Now, do they keep that, or do they?
Well, that's one of the ones.
Raptor's a beast.
The only vehicle that has both Raptor and Tremor is F-150. So Ranger, when they came out with the Raptor, they didn't have the Tremor So the question is, will they? A lot of people are saying, are they going to bring the Tremor to the Raptor or the Ranger? I
but
mean,
you also have to think.
I don't think they need to.
Maverick, I don't think they can Raptorify, but they can with the Ranger. So,
yeah,
if you want Raptor, go to Ranger. If you want some road off-road capability, but don't need the beast of a Raptor, go with Maverick.
Yeah, and I see like on the Super Duty having a Tremor, and people are saying, hey, the Tremor or the Super Duty Tremor isn't going to go rock crawling. I'm like, some people will take it rock crawling. I've been up to Colorado. I've been on Hancock. I've seen some of those trucks going up there on some of those places. It's capable of it. It's got a rock crawl mode. It's got the trail control. It's got the capabilities if it wants to.
Yeah.
Those people, will they? Probably not. They're not going to use their Super D probably to do any rock crawling.
Yeah.
More than likely, but it doesn't say it's not capable of it. It really is.
And I also think that provides an appearance. You get the orange accents. You get that lift. You get the more aggressive style to it. So maybe, it is somewhat about the capability, but also about the style.
They also say on the Super Duty Tremor that the steering is different. And so that's why some people want it, because they want a better steering feel. And they say it's better. I get. It's a better driving vehicle on the road.
Because you have some people buying Raptor not for the capability, but for the drive and how it rides.
Well, and that's the thing, is a lot of people might think it's the steering that does it, but you have different tires. So a smaller wheel with a bigger tire, it's going to feel different on the road.
Different tires, different shocks, right? Different.
Yes, you got a better shock system, more tread for cushion, right? And depending on where you put that PSI, it can actually have a better ride than another one. Now, one of our sales managers here drove a Tremor Expedition and a Platinum with the 24s, and said the Platinum with the 24 had a better ride than the Tremor. And I didn't get a chance to drive both, but by the way, that Expedition Tremor still has not come in that I ordered. Supposedly it's in transit.
So Ragnar saying he'd like to see a Ranger Tremor, and if it comes with manual transmission, you'll get a phone call asking for a sales associate. You know what I didn't think about moving upstairs? No window glares.
Yeah. So because the sunset's on that side.
Yep.
Anyway, I don't know, and I don't really like. I don't think we need a Tremor. I don't know. I don't feel like we need a Tremor and a Raptor for each model.
No.
I think you pick one or the other. Now, the difference between that, like on some of those vehicles, is the Tremor has a higher production percentage that they make than a Raptor. The whole point of the Raptor is not only the off-road capabilities, but also the exclusivity that they make less of them, right? And that's the thing, is like Ranger Raptor, we've had issues with some people getting scheduled. Well, some of that has to do with the fact that we're not getting that, we haven't been getting allocations, but also I think that they haven't been producing what they did last year on the Ranger Raptors. I really wish they would disclose those numbers. Now, I'd love to know that.
Yeah, because my phone call with one of our customers yesterday, he's like, so why aren't you getting your allocations?
We have no idea.
We don't know.
We're selling them, and we're selling the Rangers. So we don't have a Ranger in stock. And look at so Raptor allocation, the way you earn Raptor allocation for any Raptor is based on not only there's two things it's based on. One is the model that you sell. So for Bronco Raptor, it would be based on Bronco sales, but the other part of it is on all Raptor sales, including F-150, including Ranger, right? And so look at our F-150. We are one of the top 50 F-150 Raptor dealers in the entire country.
Right.
We sell so many of those. We get 4 or 5 Raptor F-150 Raptor allocations every month.
Right.
Right. I mean, we get Raptor R allocations, almost one every month. Right. So we get plenty. So the question is, why are they giving us at the end of last year? So here's what I really think happened, and is that at the end of last year, first year they introduced the Ranger Raptor. All the dealers, what they do, it was new. They only knew they were going to get one, right? Every dealer was supposed to get one. So everybody marked theirs up $10,000 over MSRP, right? And they held to that price, and they couldn't sell them. And so then in the second part, when other dealers got more allocations, like we did, we got, I think, 2 more, then for a while, right? Then there were dealers, if a dealer turns it down, their allocation, then that can be given to another dealer within the region.
Right.
So what we had happening was the dealers that had marking up 10 grand weren't selling the one they had, and they had it for 3 months because they couldn't sell it because they had it overpriced.
Right.
And so they're like, no, I don't want another allocation. I can't even sell the one I have. So they turned them down. So we were getting the allocation because we were like, yeah, we'll take it, because we were selling ours at MSRP, and we were selling ours. We weren't holding on to them. So then we were selling them. And I think when 25 model year came out, dealers realized that. And so they took their allocations instead of turning them down at the end of last year. And I think that's what happened. That's why I think even Ford said, yeah, we can give you those because we know dealers aren't taking them. You guys will get the allocations. And then I think what happened is a shift in the dealers' thoughts and actually doing MSRP on those. And then they started taking them, and then we didn't get extra allocations. Yeah. But we also know too, job one production always is you get what you earn.
Yes.
And then after that, so they make sure everybody gets the allocations that they're supposed to get for a year, right? So like for us, they've already told us for the first cycle from Dark Horse, we're getting 1. Well, last year, how many Dark Horses did we end up getting? Like 6, 7, 8, right? We're making 3 of, we don't know what version it is. The one sitting on our showroom, different colors, because we're getting Dark Horse allocations and don't have the orders. So, but the second half of the year, we're starting next month is job 2. That's where we saw it open up last year. Was job 2 is where we saw the funnel open up, and we started getting 3 allocations a month. So I think from here on out, we're going to start seeing more Ranger Raptor allocations for us.
Okay.
Because I think last year was make sure all 3,200 dealers get their allocations.
Yeah.
And that's why we only got a couple. I think we ended up getting like 5 or something. So far, we were getting like a couple, one or 2 a month was all we were getting.
Yeah.
And then we had several months where we didn't get any because other dealers needed to get theirs, is what they were told us.
Right.
So we'll see. But we are told this month we're going to get probably, they're telling us 5.
Hopefully we do.
So if we do, that'll help 25% of the ones that are still unscheduled. So, and then hopefully that opens it up for the month after that, and the month after that. So, and then we can fulfill everybody's. That's the goal. So fulfill everybody's that we have right now. So I don't know if we'll get everybody's fulfilled. I mean, at this point, I'm telling people, order with your other local dealer. I mean, and see.
Which I told him.
Or find one in stock and see if they'll do invoice.
Well,
the thing of it is nobody's doing invoice like we are.
Yeah, I told our customer I was speaking with yesterday, I was like, well, there's 2 options. Continue your order with us. If we get to the point where we're at 26 and we don't have it for you, we'll reorder for you. Order with your other dealer as well.
We probably need to go down through that list.
And he was like, well, we probably need to recontact everyone.
Yes, and see if they're still wanting theirs. Because what we had happen, we've actually had 2 that customers had ordered and they didn't take when they came in. So we went down to the people.
It has been a long time.
Yes. And so what we did is we went down and told the people, we went down with the same configuration to the next person and said, would you like it at that same invoice pricing? And so both of them went to customers that had orders on order with us. Yeah. So that we can get our list taken care of. And that's what we'll continue to do. If another one comes in, we have one that I think is supposed to be here any day, that if that customer doesn't take it, then we'll go down and
give it to the next person.
We look at the configuration because there's only like 2 different things you can do on those as options. It's the different wheel and a different, whether you got graphics or not.
Configuration and date they ordered.
And the color. Yeah. Yes. We'll go and order by when they ordered too. Yeah. So, but yeah. Anyway, again, there's a lot that they don't, just like when vehicles are stuck in shipping, they don't tell us why.
Yeah.
There's a lot of hush-hush that Ford does.
Yeah.
They don't tell dealers.
Which they were asking about constraints and whatnot. It's like, well, they give us some constraints, but overall we don't know everything.
Yeah. So your mom said she did drive both.
Yes.
And she said the Platinum was a smoother ride. With the 20s. Ours is the 20s. Which the 20s will have a little bit bigger, more tread or more sidewall than the 22s and 24s.
Okay.
Like a lot of people are like, oh, you got to have the 22s. And I'm like, I like the look of a 20 better than a 22. 22 is getting a little big. right?
Yeah.
And I do like ours. So anyway. Alrighty, Diney. Let's see.
All right, I have
Anything else?
3.
You got some comments there? Questions?
Is the secure code keyless entry pad built into the B pillar?
For which vehicle?
Explorer.
Explorer. So on the Explorer, standalone option, I believe.
Okay.
So usually how you can tell the difference, if it say it's illuminated, then it'll be integrated into the pillar. If it's what they call wireless, then that means it's just a stick-on thing, right? Usually you can tell by price too. If you're a $200 keypad, then you're the stick-on. If you're a $400 one, it's going to be integrated into the B pillar. But let me look. So I don't see a keypad on that option. I think that there it is. Security code keyless entry keypad does like this, and like a lot of them will require like a tech package or something. And on this end does say requires the comfort package. Let me look at the price right on that. So let's see here. There it is. So it is like $455. So on that, it will be integrated into the
Most likely
into the B pillar. So
all right. Can you briefly explain the 35 30 35 second row bench with easy entry and armrest?
okay.
Referring to Platinum Explorer.
Okay, so it's a 35 second row bench. Yeah. So basically it's a bucket. So it's 3 seats.
Right. So you have
your middle seat is a little smaller than the 2 outside seats.
Right.
They used to call it a 40-20-40, but they're making those seats the middle seat a little wider. So it's a 35, 30, 35. So they're split into 3 sections, and all 3 can slide forward and back
independently.
An easy entry. So I don't know why they shouldn't have armrest. So the armrest is probably coming out of the middle, but they really won't have armrest necessarily. But
so I think what that means is it's that middle seat has the integrated armrest / cup holder.
That's what I assume. And when we go through these, we'll highlight those because it's going to be the same as it was last year. Easy entry means that there's a button on the top. And when you click that button, that seat, like you could actually leave a car seat in it. And you press that button. Expedition's the same way. Press that button, and then it releases it from the back and then allows you to slide it forward. Easy entry into the 3rd row seat. And so then that way it keeps that seat the way it is, and you can keep that car seat in there and move it and get in and out. But also, if you don't have a car seat there, you can use a lever on the bottom, flip it, and the headrest goes down, flip it again, and then it comes up typically. But I do like that because if you do have a car seat in there, like, we have Jaden in the passenger side. If we really want to let them go through, we can actually hit that button and the car seat will slide forward, as long as don't make sure there's no child in there though. They wouldn't like it to go forehead into the back of the seat.
All right. Any update on the tablet holder for Expedition? It's summer now.
Nope. It's not August yet though. I said August. I don't know if you guys caught that. A couple videos I said August. We might find something out in July. I think the goal was supposed to be August production, which we should probably see. Well, no, that wouldn't be August. Remember that technically summer
is
we are summer now, but summer lasts 3 months technically. So as long as they make them in September, then they fulfilled their promise. So
that's why they will give you a generic Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, spring, fall, summer, winter.
They don't have to give themselves 3 months of leeway there. But yeah, so they we don't know. I think their goal was supposed to be August, September, but I don't know if that was August order guide, because it'll be in the order guide first so that production starts. Well, since they're scheduling for September build dates, unless there's something that opens up in the order guide this here pretty soon, then it probably won't happen for September production dates.
Yeah.
So we'll just have to see.
Yep.
But Ford site says yes. What's that about? Is that about the integrated. Yeah, I don't trust that.
That's copy and pasted. You never know with that.
All right, what's this and say? I have a 25 Mach-E Select rear-wheel drive. I was hesitant at first about the lane change feature, but now I have experienced it a few times. Yeah, like our Mach-E has it too, where you have to do the lever. Now I don't know if the 25 has the automatic lane change. So I think 25 Mach-E was supposed to be the first one to get it. Maybe. So I'd love to know if it's the automatic lane change or not. I'd be interested to see. If so, we'll jump in a 20. We got some 25s out here. We can go test it. All right. It was great after it did it, but I was just not expecting it. Yeah, it's kind of weird. I've learned how early to do that. So even like if I'm like once I've passed somebody, I get it. Once I get into my blind spot, then I turn the turn signal on. So then as soon as I'm free, it'll go over.
The first few times riding with someone, aka him, in a Blue Cruise vehicle where he's taking his hands off and he's, not controlling the vehicle, it's really weird. But I'm at the point now, I've been in it so many times that I'm just like, okay, whatever.
Okay, so he has JT says he has got a keyless entry keypad installed on his Bronco Badlands. Now that is, and it is illuminated when he hits it on the first number. So I think that there is a little difference because those aren't integrated into the B-Puller. So maybe they can be, but they're not. They're still wireless. So whereas these others will be wired into the pillar. So then they don't have to worry about batteries. That's what people don't. That's what they want. They'll pay the extra $400. They don't have to worry about a battery going dead.
I've yet to meet a keypad that is out of battery.
Right. You have to use it a lot to wear down the battery enough that it will go through it.
So. You have to have a child sitting there pressing the button consistently and messing with it on a regular basis.
Yeah, Douglas said they are stick-on. So I was thinking. All right. So Tim says the 25 Mach-E does change lanes on its own. All right. Well, then we got a 25 Mach-E out there. We're going to have some fun with that. I had forgotten that was the new feature on the 25. When they kind of talked about that, and I did think I did cover that. That was interesting. So we'll maybe do a video. That might be just kind of fun to do that. Just to show that how that works. But our Expedition doesn't have that. So
yeah.
Anyway. So, and another thing on the Explorer that it's going to have as a new feature is that Ford Connectivity Package. So that's going to be where it integrates in the Wi-Fi hotspots, the navigation, and your audio video streaming while stationary, while parked. That's all going to be included, as well as all your Google Assistant stuff. So it's all, what's really nice, it's all integrated. Like for me, I have yet to connect my phone to the Expedition.
Yeah.
But what's fun is when I get in, even when your mom's not in there, is all of it works. I don't have to plug in to Android Auto. I don't have to connect my vehicle. I don't have to have the Bluetooth on, because I have a tendency that I always like to shut my Bluetooth off and Wi-Fi off when I'm not connected to into a car or at any time, because I don't want anybody trying to hack into my phone. So I will have mine turned off. And so when I get in the vehicle, usually the first thing I got to do in the Bronco is I got to turn my Bluetooth on so that I can connect to the Bronco.
Yeah.
Right. Android Auto. But on the Expedition, I don't have to do it. It's all integrated. So I have yet to connect mine in there. Now, if I want to make phone calls, then I need to connect my phone, but I don't have to do Android Auto.
Right.
So it already is using the same Google Assistant as Android Auto uses. So it really feels a lot like Android Auto, but it's all right there integrated in. It's real nice, smooth, and easy to use. All your Google services that you usually see are on that screen. And it works real smooth. I will say that. And I mean, we get a 1 year for free, but I think it's something that I would definitely need to have. And I would pay when you think about it, it's $150 for a year. You're talking $12 a month.
Right.
The Wi-Fi hotspot right now, you've got to pay $10 a month through AT&T.
Right.
Now, we don't use Wi-Fi hotspots, but the navigation in itself, think about that. Like, I paid $200 for a year for navigation to the Bronco, right?
Yes.
This is $150. You get navigation for a year, so it's already $50 less there if you even want the navigation.
Right.
Right. I think it's a good system. Now, we don't use the audio video streaming, and we really don't use a hotspot. So, but the Google Assistant feature is worth it to me.
Right.
That, along with the navigation, is worth the $12 a month.
Yep.
Easy. Ragnar said, your navigation is $200. Well, technically it's $80, but the navigation doesn't work unless you're signed up with a premium connectivity, which is $10 a month. And do the math, over 12 months, it's $120 plus the $80. That's $200 for a year. So it all expired a week ago, and we didn't sign up. That's $200 we can save. We're just going to use Android Auto.
Yeah.
Which somebody had said that about the Ford connectivity package. It said, well, I can do all the Google services, the navigation using my phone.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have the Wi-Fi hotspot, but my phone has a Wi-Fi hotspot, so I'll just use it. Because that was the other question is, and I actually have a contact with their connectivity team for Ford that reached out to me, that watches our videos and helped educate me a little bit on some of the stuff. And he even doesn't know how the Wi-Fi hotspot's being used or who gets billed for that. So because before you used AT&T, so you had to sign up with an AT&T contract, and that's how you got it. This in here says it's unlimited, but it doesn't say who it's through. So the question is, are they using our cellular service and the Wi-Fi, right?
That
you know how to know for sure if they're using our phones? Put your phone in airplane mode, and then use a Wi-Fi hotspot and use a device and see if it still works, or not have your phone in the vehicle. Because the rest
airplane mode would be easier.
The rest of the stuff would still work without it. That's the question. I think Ford's paying for it. I think Ford's just working with AT&T, and I think they're just paying for. They probably have a special deal with AT&T on all these vehicles.
That's suspicious. Why is RagnarCon's $50 a year?
I don't know. $50 a year. I don't. Mine was.
But his is 50.
Mine was 80. Mine was 80 last year. Maybe it's 50 now. I don't know.
Who knows? No one.
Now I do know that some of the Broncos, if you have like a luxury package, got the connected built-in navigation, right? Mm. And so like ours was the Big Ben, so it was just a connected nav. So I got 1 year included, and then after that, I need to sign up. Whereas I'm wondering if it's a built-in connected nav, if you don't need the premium connected services because that's included in that vehicle. And so maybe that's why it's cheaper, because it's the built-in connected nav versus the connected nav.
Yeah. Very well could be.
Don't know. Just like I wish they had a 360 camera, or at least a front camera option as a standalone option. Just like I still think, and I'm going to fight for this, like when we go in August, I'm going to have a chat with the brand manager, and then I'm like, there are two things that need to happen to all Broncos. Right? These Broncos are made to go off-road. If you want people to enjoy the off-road, you need two things that you got to give them. A standalone option for the rear locker and a front camera option.
Right.
Period. Right? If you want them to go off-road and enjoy off-roading, that camera, I think, is put in a drive mode that is off-road, so I can see a camera on the front. You don't now they're coming with standard with a 12-inch screen, so that's not I think before you had to have the 12-inch screen was a reason you needed that. Great. Well, they're all come standard with 12-inch screen, so there's no reason why you can't. I'm not even asking for a 360 camera. Just give me the front one.
Yeah.
Because Explorer I don't know if you remember that. At one point, Explorer had a front 180-degree camera.
Right. Yeah.
Just do that.
So,
all right.
William wants to know, does the Badland Job 2 mid-package price change affect the price of the Lux package on the Badlands? I just ordered a Badlands with Lux package on June 22nd.
I don't think so. They didn't mention anything about the Lux or anything, though. It shouldn't affect that. Yeah. So it's just allowing for people, if they want a non-mid-package Badlands, a little bit cheaper, great way for them to save money. Yeah.
You have the mid-package on your Big Bend?
I do.
He has a 21.
I have a 21.
One of the first ones the dealership got, right? No, that was your Lightning.
All right. He also said high equals front camera, lux equals 360. Why can't I just have, maybe you go make it require the mid package, whatever. I mean, it's not like I'm going to trade anyway, but I found a way around it. I have a trail camera. It just battery dies after a couple hours, so then I have to switch out my batteries in my GoPro. But it still works. Should pitch him on bringing back the high package. Oh yeah, that. Yes. So that was said before. He mentioned the cameras, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, adaptive cruise would be nice on some of those, but yeah, I don't need. I mean, but front locker. I mean, so every F-150. In fact, this was a big deal with our within our region. They want us to take these F-150 units that are basically built at the plant. They're quick turn. They're quick units, so you can. I can't remember what they call them, but they're MAP units. And it's not Michigan Assembly Plant. They like to use that acronym multiple ways. The other is being able to get these vehicles real fast. I can't remember what they call it now. It used to be something else. Anyway, you could get these real fast. Well, we'd say, okay, we need to know what they are. We can't pull window stickers on these units. We don't want to say, yes, we'll take them or not without knowing what they're on. Well, that's just the simple, 2.7, Super Crew, 302As, yada, yada. We're like, but does it have a rear locker? That's a standalone option. And they're like, well, why so finally got a hold of our rep and said, well, why does it matter? And like, you don't know what, do you know what a rear locker is? An electronic locker is? Well, no. I said, okay. So think about this. You're in mud or you're in snow or you're in something like that, and you start losing traction in one of your wheels. Where does all the power go?
Right.
To the wheel that has no traction. Least resistance, it's going to get all of the power. So it's going to drive all that power to that wheel, and you're not going anywhere because it has no traction or it's off the ground. If you have a rear locker, they're locking those together so you can continue. When that doesn't have it, it's driving the power to both wheels, so you still have traction. So he had to explain to our Ford rep that they didn't know. This is why we need to know what configuration the vehicles are before I take one, because I guarantee you, if we have one on a lot with a regular axle and not an electronic locker, that's not selling in the state of Kansas.
Right.
You're in the KC region. You better figure that out. But anyway, it was, educational for them. So I educated them. But also, the same way on the Bronco, there should never be a one Bronco that you can't add a rear locker to. Come on.
Right.
Just just putting a 4-wheel drive is helpful, but you need a rear locker. Come on. I just need that in the snow in Kansas when I got to get a foot of snow in Kansas.
Yeah.
I need we actually never used a rear locker, just put in 4x4, but you can't say you're a 4-wheel drive vehicle without adding a rear locker, or just hey, let's just make a standard. How about that? Let's just make a standard.
Yeah.
Electronic locker. Make it standard. Whatever. Anyway, but yeah, there you go. So I don't know. That's that. But it's 9:10. Any other questions? Nobody's commented for a while, so I think they're all done. Well, if nobody has anything else, then I'm out of rants of things that I'd like to see. So now we're seeing the whole thing here. So I thought I thought you were getting some sort of special discount code here. He said he paid $50, but 30 of it was paid by Ford Pass points. So typically every month, so I will say the premium connectivity, I really didn't pay $200 because every month Ford Pass points covered my $10 for the connectivity. So really I did only pay $80 last year for it. My Ford Pass points paid every month for it because I had enough Ford Pass points every month for $10. So, yeah, you're in the same boat I am. So he says he only got 1 point left. And I think it's funny. I got an email the other day that said, you have 5 Ford Pass points. Here's how you can use them. I'm like, what? What's funny is I should have 42,000 points, Oh no, they changed that. What is it? 33 now they give you when you buy a car.
Yeah.
I should have 33, but anyway. So anyway, I'm not earning them anymore because of my credit card. It's gone. I still haven't gotten my Gear Up credit card yet to replace it, but anyway, let's see. But all right, I think that's it.
All right.
So episode 199. Next week we're in the 200s for episodes. Believe it or not.
Yes.
Wow, it's crazy. It's crazy to me is when this started out, I'm like, well, I'll just do this a couple episodes to answer some people's questions. I'll probably run out of things to talk about, and we won't do these every week. It won't be a weekly thing. And really, there has been weeks where we have not done a live stream,
right?
When we've been gone or vacation or whatever. So we haven't done it every week, but it's amazing that I've come up with something to talk about 200 times.
Yeah.
So
now what's our topic next week?
I don't know. I didn't know what our topic was this week until yesterday. And for those of you that are members, and especially Coffee Time members, you'll know that's the truth. Like, it's usually what it comes down to is when I need Jeff to make a thumbnail, and he's like, "What are you going to talk about tomorrow?" I'm like, "I don't know." So that forces me to come up with something because I got a timeline that he has to get it done before he goes back to pitching again.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting here going,
No tire inflator in new cars.
Oh yeah.
So here's the thing. We had Lebo and I took him out for his birthday for over the weekend. Tire. So we went to Kansas City. His birthday was Friday, so we went out to a dinner show. We were having fun. We got to the hotel, and then we decided to go grab a snack. And he's like, "Okay, tell me how to get back to the hotel." And I'm waiting for the GPS to load, and he's already starting to drive. He's like, which way do I turn? I'm like, I'm not sure. And he's like, I'm going to turn left. I'm like, sure. The GPS will recalculate to match where we're going. He turned down a one way. He turned left onto it, which is the wrong way. So he ended up freaking out with oncoming traffic coming directly at us, hitting the curb and popping our tire. We had a sidewall blowout. Totally just, his finger could go all the way in it. It was bad. So we went back, he turned around really quick.
So the tire sealant and inflator kit's not going to work.
No, it's not. So he turned around and went back to the parking lot and got backed in, and he's like, "Spare tire, we have one, right?" And he goes and looks in, and I'm like, "No." He's like, "Why not?" I'm like, "Because this is a 2019 Fusion SE. It's a lower trim." Yeah. Hybrid. So
it doesn't have the spare. Hybrid.
No spare.
A lot of times back then, you know what's funny is it's opposite right now. So an Escape hybrid gets a spare, an Escape non-hybrid gets a tire or nothing at all.
Yeah. I was like, it doesn't come with one. And he's like, there's no spare in this? No. He's like, dang it. So we had to figure out what was going on. I called Grandma. And luckily, there is a roadside, or there's a guy that will come and fix your tire roadside. He goes to the store, grabs the tire size that you need, comes over and fixes it for you.
And in Kansas City, there's plenty of places to get tires in Kansas City.
So he literally, it took him an hour to get to us from the time that Lebo hung up, and it took him 15 minutes to put on. Well, come to find out, the stem is broken. We had to have him replace the stem or whatever you need to do for that. I don't repair tires, but all I know is that the stem valve was leaking air. So he had to take it off, deflate it, fix it, put it back on, re-inflate it, and put it on for us. And he was so nice. He did not charge us for the extra service.
There you go.
So we met a kind person in Kansas City.
She said, "Didn't you call me?" We just said that. You said you called Grandma.
Well, I called you, and then I called Grandma Bart's.
Oh.
Aunt Barb was off that day.
When you said Grandma, I mean.
Yeah, I was just seeing if Grandma and Grandpa might be free and they could come help us.
I see.
They were not.
All right.
But that was our fun.
Farm Duty 85, which sounds like they need a Super Duty. My 25 F450 XL ordered on 210 was scheduled to be a 26 year last week. Price went up $1,300. Will I be able to get Ford off from you? They will not price lock that, because when you realize it or not, your dealer ordered you a 26. So your order doesn't flip from a 25 and it gets scheduled as a 26. Your dealer ordered a 26 for you. That's the only way the order would be in there. Yeah. So now they don't flip the orders anymore and just move it over. So it is what it is. So what the dealer did is they ordered you a 26, and then it got scheduled. And yes, prices did go up from one model year to the next. And no, Ford will not offer any kind of price lock for 25. You get price protection on a 25 that's billed as a 25.
Right.
But not as a 25 that gets billed as a 26. Yeah. They never do price protection over into a next model year.
They did in the past for special circumstances.
No, they did private offers.
Right.
But not price protection.
Right.
So we did there's actually a slide that I can show you that there's 3 different price protections in a sense, or price things. Incentive lock and price protection go within the same model year. Private offers. Sometimes what they did is if people didn't get scheduled one model year, they maybe give them a private offer to use on the next model year for if prices went up. But they didn't do that for 25 because they raised production enough that in their mind, dealers shouldn't have taken more orders than what they could handle. Right. So they're not going to do any price offer. What I would, see if your dealer is willing to come down $1,300, they could probably do that and still, they won't probably make much of a profit, but they're probably enough on a 450 XL. They probably still could discount the $1,300 and still be okay on the deal if they really wanted to. That'd be between you and your dealer.
Yeah, that's a dealer to dealer.
Yeah. So,
base.
But yep.
So.
We have one. We had a customer that it was our only F450 order that did not get scheduled. It was like a super cab or a regular cab, XL or something. And he ordered it, a 25. It wasn't scheduling. We knew it was close where they balanced out. So we need to place your 26 order. And they did away with dark and bronze. And that was the only other color he liked other than silver. And silver can only be ordered as a fleet. So he didn't order again for 26. He's like, nope, I'm done. He's going to try another manufacturer. So anyway, it is what it is.
Either that or find something on a lot somewhere.
Yeah, 525 out there. Anyway.
Might be for a higher price than you want, but
yeah. So
we're out there.
Anyway, all right. Well, that's that. So that wraps up our last episode in the 100s.
All right.
And episode 200, hopefully, in our new office. So we'll see. Still needs to be painted. So get your paintbrush out. You
don't want me to paint.
Ask
Levo.
He does have plastic down. So anyway, but yeah, so we'll have to
ask Mom. Ask Levo.
So
you don't want me painting.
We have three walls that need to be painted in there. Right? Yes. Plus the other side of the wall, which that's not in our office, so we don't care about that one. But anyway, actually they need to paint 2 walls too, because they're going to paint that other wall where the sticker was.
That's right.
So anyway, so that needs to happen. So we'll see. Hopefully that happens in the next 2 days before the end of the. Otherwise, I should be able to finish it up on Monday if we needed to. Yeah. And we could stay late next Monday night and move stuff in, but hopefully we could start. Yeah. I'd start putting together the desk if they'd fit in the hallway, but I don't think they would.
I'm not trying that.
No, I don't want to do it. I want to kind of build it in there. So anyway, there we go. All right. Well, that's it for this week. So hope you guys enjoyed it. And thanks for joining us. Have a great 4th of July. Stay safe. Don't blow up any fingers.
Yeah.
Yep.
We'll see you next Tuesday.
Yep. Watch your neighbors. There are crazy neighbors out there that do fireworks.
I get to experience fireworks with chickens for the first time.
Luckily, our neighbors around us, they don't really do fireworks. Now, across the fence, sometimes they do fireworks, but we can just usually enjoy it and watch everybody else's.
Yeah.
But
well, you guys have the perfect view over the city and can see everyone's fireworks.
Yeah, usually. Except the trees getting away. A couple of them. So anyway,
they've already started shooting them off as of yesterday.
Yep. Yeah.
Well,
I don't know when it was.
In Salina, you can shoot them off within city limits all year round now. So as soon as people can get their hands on them.
Yeah, we hear it every usually fireworks going off. Well, the Chiefs must have won.
Oh, the Royals. Oh, who's playing tonight? I didn't think the Chiefs were playing tonight. Oh.
I know, you hear it go off, and I'm like, well, what game happened today? Who won?
Bronco? Okay.
You never know.
Yeah.
Oh, but oh well. There you go.
I spent $700 on fireworks.
Be kind. Hey, they're fun to watch.
They are.
So anyway, they're pretty cool. So all right, that's all I have for this week. So anyway, we'll continue to talk each week about and remind people about our event too. Yep. We'll try to get out and let people know locally and everything else too about the event coming up. So and get that out there. And other than that, yeah, that's it. So all right, thanks for joining us. Yeah, that's all I have. Till next week, stay positive, be kind to one another,
and be kind to yourself.
We'll see you guys later.
Bye.